Yeah, it's a riot.
Absolutely. And what's crazy to me is we're getting a lot of positive feedback around these workshops. I mean, it's insane. I mean, we've got 5, 6,000 people registered, and everybody's watching replay. So we really feel like these are helpful. And by the way, we're gonna try to do these more often, y'all. If you're a high leveler and you're in part of our community, we're gonna try to do these more often. I see the wave of people coming in. That's when I know the automations are working, because we have like 5 minute automations, 10 minute automations, and then every other 5, 10 minutes, like a wave of people come in. But anyways, couple of things that I think we should talk about today, in addition to everything we're sharing or planning on sharing, is really building the mindset around SaaS versus the agency, because I think that's a big struggle for a lot of people as well. Paulson, I know SaaS is good. How do I intertwine everything Adam's telling me? So we'll go through that dance a
Mhm.
little bit. And then another thing I want to share with everyone here is, like, if you don't know, we're not really that good at sales in general. So I'm going to be salesy for a quick second here and show you the workshop offer that we're running while this is happening live. So this won't be available after today's session is over. So this is the last chance you're going to be able to take advantage of it. So mind my salesiness, but if you are partaking in this workshop and you don't have a high level account, you can jump on a 30-day free trial for our 297 agency plan, which is our unlimited plan, unlimited everything. And you get to use it. And then if you are already an existing customer, what we want you to do is get to SaaS as quick as you can. So we want you to upgrade to the higher tier plan, and you'll be able to get the collaterals from then as well. And if you just simply need some help, just in general, you can go to speakwithus/success. Let me edit my slide here. And in case if you want to talk to someone, if you want to speak with someone regarding the offer itself, you can go to speak with us/consult. And you might have seen Jordan put that up as well in the community. Jordan, thanks for joining us as well, my guy. He is the MVP behind the scenes that runs a show for us, making sure the communities are all working really well. But two things here: new customer, if you're brand new to high level, jump on a 30-day trial. You're not going to get that anywhere else. And this offer is going to expire I think Friday this week. So no false urgency, but after Friday it won't be available. Existing customers, again, jump into an upgrade. We're seeing a ton of people take advantage of these offers, so don't be the one that's going to miss out. If you need help in general, and maybe you're already on the 497 plan, you're like at the highest plan, you cannot upgrade anymore, you can simply talk to one of our live agents at the success room, which is speakwithus/success, and jump in. If you want to talk to someone about the offer specifically, go to our consulting team at speakwithus/consult. And in order for you to take advantage of the offer or sign up, go to gohighlevel.com/Adam workshop offer. And here's what you get with Adam's offer. You get the 5-day challenge from High Level, which is the course that we built out to help you get your first paying customer. And that's a course that I personally recorded, Chase Buckner as well. And it basically teaches you how to narrow down your focus of 500 features into one, and selling with one feature and getting your paying customers. The second one is the SaaSpreneur Local Hero Playbook. It's more of a generalized course around all different aspects of launching SaaS. And then Adam, I requested Adam that he provide a snapshot for all of you. So he did that. We've had great feedback about the snapshot. There's instructional videos as well. You also get Adam's list of 7-figure niches that are a lot more profitable than just anything that you're shooting at. You also get the perfect cold calling script. We'll talk about these things. Then also, we talked about the podcast method and some of the samples I've done as well. You get the outreach template for that. And this is the link again, guys. It's gohighlevel.com/Adam workshop offer. Jordan, if you don't mind posting that into our chat or the Facebook streaming, I definitely appreciate it. Adam, let's get started, man. Let me just make sure I'm recording. My friends in the production team will be appreciative of that. Okay, cool. I see more people jumping in. Adam, can we just do a quick recap of day 1 and day 2? I'm seeing a lot of new faces, and that's why. Let's get started.
Right on, right on. So yeah, quick recap, and we'll hop right in here. So let me see if I can go presenting mode. Actually, let me find the right slide first if we're going to go back over, because yeah, we've covered quite a lot so far in regards to sort of client acquisition. And let me know if this works out. Can you see that there, Paulson?
Let me see. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, one sec. We'll figure it out. Let me go screen share. How's that, my friend? We should be good.
Yep, we should be good. Let's see here. 1 second here. 1 second. Let me just double check something here. So Adam, can you share the slide instead of the browser?
Yes, let me see how that's working.
And then in the annotation mode, you can turn off other people's ability to annotate. And that's something Jordan had pointed out to me. So we don't have to worry about.
Okay, right on. We'll do the technical stuff. Let me go annotation. Or is it under share? So let's go presenter view. And then...
Yeah, you got to go on presenter view. That's what it is.
Okay, I'm there now. Perfect. And then... let's see if we can do this. We had it yesterday perfectly, so I'm sure we can get here. Let's go. All right, let's try. Tell me that works.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Oh,
that's it.
magic.
We are in business, my guy.
Tell you, marketer, not tech guy, but we did it. Okay, so what did we do? Well, first couple of days, we did client acquisition, talked about how to get them, importance of niching down, went through scripts, we went through audits, talked about kind of a secret strategy, as well as a lot of the mindset things behind what actually takes place to sort of put yourself in the right frame to go out and get all of the clients that you could ever want. Yesterday, went through assembly line fulfillment. This was a deep one. I think I was planning on keeping it relatively short and concise, but it's funny, as we started to have these discussions, as I was even building out the slides, there's just a lot that goes into it, sort of from a big high level perspective. But when we really get down to it, it's results, right? Like that's the thing that we're really going for. It's what are the things that are delivering results to the clients time and time again? How do we deliver that? We talked about obviously a bit of SaaS versus agency. Well, obviously we're going to be talking more about that today. I've got a few things as well to share on different strategies I have. I know, Paulson, you've got a ton of great ideas on how to help people sort of navigate these confusing, muddy waters. But today, scaling with SOPs, we're going to talk about theory of constraints, which sounds way more complicated than it actually is. And we're going to go down to the things that actually matter when it comes to growing your agency, making more money, doing all the things we're here to, go over some agency growth strategies, and then talk about one of my personal favorites on client retention and referrals, which, despite giving an entire day to client acquisition, we're only going to give a little bit of lip service to client retention and referrals, but hopefully this is enough to point you in the right direction, because it is just so incredibly important and profitable and valuable. So with that said, let me come back to my slides down to today's one.
Yeah, and those of you that are just joining us, we have intentionally turned off the Zoom chat. So use the Facebook group link, and we're monitoring comments there. Okay, can everybody just give me a 1 in the thread real quick? I just want to make sure this is working for real quick. If you're watching in the Facebook streaming, or if you have that turned on, do not direct message me, but put a 1 in the Facebook streaming chat. I just want to make sure this is working real quick. Let's see. Cool. Right, let's see. All right, let's get started.
All right, day 3, scaling with SOPs. Go from 5 to 6 to 7 figures and beyond. We could have just kept counting because we all know and have friends and have done it personally at scaling the agency or whatever it is to basically whatever level that you really want. Because what's important and I think what's valuable and interesting about this is that once you learn the systems and the structures and the things we're going to talk about today, is that it very much is kind of like this wash, rinse, repeat thing that we can just do over and over again. So what are we going to be covering today? Well, obviously we've covered all of these. So today we're talking about theory of constraints, talking about growth strategies, client retention, and referrals. Now, very important note. We do not create systems and SOPs just for fun. These are designed to solve and prevent problems getting in the way of you creating your goals. So personal story, SOPs, just got to be the most boring topic you could ever possibly imagine. Standard operating procedures, like what are the checklists? What are the frameworks? What are the steps that we're going to do and go through? It sounds terribly dry, but this is really where the money is made in your agency. And this is really where you're going to be able to succeed long-term and get those consistent and predictable results when it comes to scaling your agency, bringing on team members, all kinds of fun, fancy things. But to figure out where do you even start? Well, we got to talk about theory of constraints. This is where we solve problems, eliminate bottlenecks, plug your leaky funnel. So first, only a tiny bit of the nerdy thing, then we'll move on to the actual stuff. Theory of constraints, a methodology for identifying the most important limiting factor, the constraint, that stands in the way of achieving a goal and then fixing it. That is theory of constraints. This is, if I have two mental frameworks that I use when doing marketing, the first one is that I'm always mentally mapping out the funnel from start to finish. I'm thinking, all right, well, if a client is here, or for my clients themselves, what does the customer look like? What is the step that occurs directly before that? What's the step before that? And I'll map everything out. The second thing I'm looking at is theory of constraints. I'm trying to figure out where are the bottlenecks. Are these occurring in lead gen and lead conversion? Is it the sales calls? Is it walk-ins? Like, where are the issues so that I can fix them? Now, most agency problems come down to just two simple things. We've talked about this, but obviously, you know, when we bring up a point more than once, it's because it's important. Not having enough clients, not getting good enough results. They kind of feed into each other. So how do we fix this? Well, not having enough clients, client acquisition. That's what day 1 is all about. We're going to obviously talk more about it today. We can't really talk about building an agency or getting clients without sort of putting this at the forefront. And then not getting good enough results. The impact or the result or whatever it is of this one is client retention. So we need to fix both of those. We talked about GT, KT, get them, keep them. You're gonna see that again in another slide so we can elaborate more on that one. But here's the deal. Until your agency is at 100K a month or more, these are the only two problems you should really be focusing on a daily schedule. Looks like I didn't figure out the Picasso thing still, the annotations.
Yes. So if you go under annotate, Jordan, I think Jordan's there.
Oh, I see annotate and I see
and
check out the new toolbar. Okay.
And
then what do I got?
It's at the top on the drop down, I believe. And if you go to annotate settings, it'll allow you to disable other participant annotation.
Annotate.
It literally click on the more button when you're
sharing. Yeah, I see doc toolbar is the only thing I've got there for more.
Okay, let me see if I can go to it. More.
The fun of live streaming presentations.
Disable. Jordan, are you there? Let me just see if Jordan...
Yes, the should be under whenever you're in the Zoom bar, the more settings.
Yeah, it looks like
okay, more, and then I'm there now. Good, found that one. And then
disable participants annotation. Disable
annotation for others. Oh, we did it. Thank you. Perfect. I was looking in the annotation bar. What was happening? All good. Okay, I think we fixed it. Well, it's sad. I was looking forward to more drawings a little bit. We can do that after. So these are the two problems until you're at 100K a month. How can I get more clients? How can I get them better results? That's it. Up until we're at 100K a month, this is it. We need to focus here. Just like we talked about this yesterday, it's worth repeating again. One niche, one offer, one delivery mechanism, one simple thing, wash, rinse, repeat, follow the steps. That's the secret. I'm going to sort of spoiler alert a little bit here, but like one of the problems that agencies have is that we overcomplicate things thinking that that's the secret, when the secret is almost like these blinders that we put on and we just do the steps again and again and again. So if you currently have less than 10 clients, your focus needs to be on client acquisition. So again, this is what lesson 1 was all about on day 1. So we've got everything that we spelled out there. 50% of your day, ideally it's more like 90%, but I've put 50% to be a little conservative. We gotta have a little breathing room there. But like this should be focused on having as many conversations as possible with potential clients. So we call these appointments, we call them sales calls, we call them whatever you want. But if you've got less than 10 clients, you need to spend the vast majority of your day having conversations that can potentially lead to clients. No client is showing up out of nowhere. Certainly no agency client. If we're running ads direct to a sales page for SaaS, sure, we could do this without perhaps a conversation. But like no multi-$1,000 agency client is just signing up on your page without speaking to you first. Now, once you've got 10 to 15 clients, ballpark, if you find they're not sticking around for at least 90 days, 3 months kind of is our bare minimum. We want 6 months, we want 12 months, but like anything less than 3 months, the next thing we need to focus on is client retention, which typically comes down to the way that we're onboarding them, the expectations we're setting, the results that we're generating, which is often the results are a direct effect of the niche and the offers that we've selected. Again, day 1 and day 2 actually on that one. So 50% of your day, but not more, should be focused on getting your current clients the absolute best results possible, because you also have to continue building on that client acquisition schedule of bringing more and more people into your agency. Even if we imagined that churn didn't exist and nobody ever left, we still want to continue growing, because in business and marketing and life, like we can either be growing or we're shrinking. So we always want to be putting sort of one next piece in front of the other. It just provides more opportunities for you, for your family, for the people that you're going to get to give jobs to.
Yeah, and also Adam, this is something I think everyone should understand. We all talk about the rat race, the cycle of getting clients and then fulfilling clients, but a lot of people don't understand fulfillment cycles, right? So there are big projects and small projects, and the small projects are quite often easy to just shoot out. They're automated. There's a lot of different steps. You got SOPs. The bigger projects are the ones usually that'll slow you down quite often, which is why folks that have agencies with a lot of custom work usually don't scale. And whether you do good service or not, it doesn't really matter. It usually don't scale because everything's built around somebody's hours or a team's hours or talent or something crazy like that. But either way, pay attention to the type of offers you have, because the more complex the offers are, the less time you'll be able to spend on sales activities, because the only thing that matters is setting appointments, closing appointments, in my friend Joel Kaplan's famous words, right? Setting appointments, closing appointments. And the only thing that's going to get in the way of that quite often is over-promising, overbuilding, providing too much quality when they don't really need that much quality, honestly. Let's keep going.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly it. So, tough love. Reason most agencies struggle to get enough clients is simply because they're spending too much time and energy on unimportant things. That's it. That's the big one. I think if I had to pick, I'll make sure that yeah, there we go. Perfect. We'll stick here for a second. So here's the deal. Doing things that are just not important, that don't drive, again, setting appointments, having appointments, getting clients, keeping clients, all of those things, those are the things to focus on. What is not the secret to focus on? Updating your website, building a new logo, posting on social media for the sake of doing it, doing other things that you were told are important and may or may not lead to sales in the other down the road. I didn't put this in a slide, but we can unpack it real quick. If you want to grow as fast as possible, you've got to understand the difference between an SQL and an MQL. So an SQL is a sales qualified lead and an MQL is a marketing qualified lead. Now, an SQL, sales qualified lead, I want you to think of like the top 3 to 5% of a pyramid. These are the people with cash in hand, credit card in hand. They're ready to buy right now. They've shown all of the signs and they want to go and get some help. These are the people that we need to go after. Whereas what most people do as a beautiful form of productive procrastination is they go after the MQLs, the marketing qualified leads, who have a problem and they might know about it and they're interested in solving it, but they're not committed to solving it. So for them, we create marketing and videos and webinars and VSLs, and we have workshops and seminars and live events, all of these things that take a ton of time and a ton of money. And they absolutely work, but they're secondary after you've dominated the SQLs. And for most businesses, again, I don't have an exact sort of quantitative number on this one, but I'd be hard pressed to find like you can do $1 million a year easy with SQLs alone, like with no marketing, like literally like an ad to a VSL sales page that's like, we have this thing and you're going to be just fine. Many of my friends, in fact, I took the wrong approach and built out all the marketing because I thought that's what you had to do as a marketer. We got to do it right. But it all it did is stunt and slow my growth until I finally figured it out.
Yeah, and what's funny is you need to pay attention to the strength of the market's offer. So for example, your client's offer strength will have a lot of impact whether you're going to be successful or not. So like I remember having dental clients and it's nearly impossible to get a dental patient to actually show up to the door. Where when Rob and Alex had his agency back in the med spa days, I mean, you shoot out a small little ad and everybody shows up because they actually want that, whatever it is that they're getting. So it makes a difference whether the market actually has an offer that they love, and that allows you to just focus on SQLs, like Adam's saying, right? Let's keep going.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. And if they don't have an offer, then you've got to kind of work with them to get one. That's where we got to do a little bit of extra work. So we can talk more about that. Scaling with SOPs. So SOPs, standard operating procedures. So what should we create SOPs for in our businesses? Anything you do more than once is kind of the blanket answer. So if there is something that is repetitive that you do every day, whether it's checking email, responding to clients, onboarding people, sending out invoices, whatever it is, we'll unpack all of these. Like that is what SOPs are for. So here's our examples. Creating new client accounts, setting contracts, invoices, getting access to client social media accounts, collecting client information, launching new campaigns, creating and presenting reports, requesting testimonials, referrals. Literally all of the things should have an SOP. But here's the deal. As someone that like does not like creating SOPs, has never liked creating SOPs, like we'll do those later. Let's start with the bare bones minimum ones. And I want to show you just how simple they can be, but just how vital they are. So back in my flying days, it's like everything operated off a checklist. And the reason that we operated off a checklist was that we could forget things otherwise. There's just too many things to do. So it was almost this no-brainer, monotonous routine of like, check this, check flaps, check oil, check this, flip this, switch, do this. And we always use the checklist. Doesn't matter how many thousands of hours we flew, always went through the checklist. We want to do that as well with the clients so that we don't miss things. We don't accidentally upload the wrong ad or send them to the wrong account or invoice them the wrong way. Or like Paulson and I shared yesterday, have the wrong Facebook ad budget for a client that's going out. It's like this helps prevent those nauseating errors. So 3 important ones: client acquisition, client onboarding, service delivery. This is where I think you should start. So let's talk client acquisition first. We need client acquisition SOPs for how we do outreach. So for example, if we're sending direct messages, we need that. We need it for calls. We need it for emails. We need it for marketing audits. We also need it for follow-up. I'll unpack what this looks like in just a second as well. Again, DMs, calls, emails. We need it for referral requests, case study creation, once we have some good things going for a client. So what does this look like? Well, let's use DMs. How many direct messages are we sending? What platforms are we using? What is the script that we're using? How are we phrasing it? Are we using their first name? Are we including this? Are we including that? Are we sending it here? Are we using Twitter or Facebook or Instagram? Are we having this conversation? Are we using AI to follow up with it? Again, if we just send one, cool, just send it. But if this is a process for you, you need to track it and measure it so that you can optimize it later, as well as cut down on your mental workload now. Calls. What time of the day are you calling? What's the script that you're using? Are you tracking and recording your calls? If you're always calling at 4 p.m. and nobody answers, maybe we should try calling at 10 a.m. If we're always catching them on Monday and they're miserable, maybe we start shifting most of our calls to Tuesday or Thursday or Friday. We can track all of these things once we start going through them. Emails. Again, we need SOPs for how do we write our subject lines? Where are we finding them? What's the body copy? What's our follow-up routine look like? Same thing with marketing audits. How frequently are we sending them? What is the information that we're presenting in the audit? Are we just doing basic website reviews? Are we adding SEO? Are we looking at ads? All of this needs to be sort of factored in. Again, follow up. How many DMs are we sending? 3, 4, 5? Voice, video, text, calls. When are we doing them? After an email, after an audit? What are the call to actions that we're leaving in them? Emails, request to reply. Are we sending memes? Are we using images? What's the tone and style of the email? There's some amazing cold emails I've seen that are borderline rude. but they work incredibly well in different industries. I don't use them personally because it's not my style or tone, but I've had them used on me, and I click them and I read them and I laugh and I think they're funny. I probably wouldn't share them with my kids or anything, but like, again, you've got to know your market, what you're talking about, who that niche is, what do they respond to. Referral requests. Are we making referral requests at the 15-day mark, 30-day mark, 60-day mark, or after a big win? What is the system for this? I promise you, everyone, we don't even need a one in the chat. I guarantee is like, if we don't have a system for requesting referrals, we're not making referrals because it's just too easy to let it go. And if we don't have a system for referrals, it probably looks like, hey, can I have a referral? And they'll be like, I'd be happy to. And then they'll never do it. So what's the process we're going to use there to come across as assertive? Same with case study creation. When are we going to do this? How are we going to put it together after we get a good result for a client? What are we going to do to ask them?
So Adam, I have a couple of questions here before we go any further. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm just gonna play a couple of scenarios here.
Yeah.
For fun. If I'm starting out and I don't have any clients, like, do I need to build something like this out that early, or maybe is this more appropriate for someone that's at like the 5 client mark or maybe 10 client mark? Like, when do we actually implement SOPs versus maybe like a checklist or something for someone that's starting out?
Yeah, right on. Excellent question. So for anyone that is in that phase where you're just starting, we don't have all of this, we're not sending thousands of emails a day, a checklist is sufficient and is an SOP. So that's the answer is like, if we've got it in basically any CRM, ClickUp, Todoist, pen and paper on your thing or whatever it is, like, as long as we have a system that we follow, that is a standard operating procedure. So yeah, have an idea. And the reason that I like to write it out anyway, even if I'm just getting started, say I'm going DMs and I'm going to send them on Twitter, I still need an SOP. And I'll write it probably just in a Google Doc with a few little checkboxes. But the reason I'm doing that is because I need to be able to look back and be like, what worked, what didn't. In fact, secret bonus tip here. One of my secret weapons I've used for over a decade now to get clients amazing results every time is on like day one, I'll be like, hey, let's look back over your last 12 months. Let's find the 2 months with the highest revenues. What did you do then? And they'll always have something. And I'll be like, cool, let's do it again. And then we do it again. And we make them a lot of money because most clients, myself included, will do something that works. And we're like, what else can I do instead of doing the thing that worked the first time? So we're not going to know if we're not keeping track of it. So it's like, okay, I'm sending 1,000 Twitter DMs and literally everyone's ignoring me. What's my tone? What's my script? When am I sending it? Am I whatever's happening, etc. So yeah, I think that's the thing is like, start wherever you are, but a simple Google Doc is totally fine.
Awesome. Thanks for clarifying that, because a lot of people don't know when to implement it, when's the right time, because people tend to overbuild all these processes.
Yes.
And to me, it's an excuse to hide behind the rejection they may face around sales.
It is. Yeah, it is. Productive procrastination is like, you feel like you're doing, I'm doing good work. I'm building SOPs today. Yeah, no, your SOPs when you're first starting, like, how about 10 minutes? Like, and you're done, right? Because literally, I'm going to do this thing. Here's how I think it's going to work. It's almost like scientific method marketing. It's like, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I think is going to happen. My hypothesis for it. Here's the actions that I took. Now let me evaluate my results. Did it work? Good. We're doing more of it. Did it not work? Okay, let's reevaluate and fix. 10 minutes. Move on. Get them, keep them. All right.
So client acquisition, client onboarding, service delivery. Help us understand what we're looking at.
You got her. So client onboarding next. This is one that I really do like having an SOP. So I'm going to give you a basic one, then I'll show you something better here. So contract and payment, we need an SOP for how are we sending a contract or agreement? How are we collecting payment? We need to do an internal kickoff meeting 9 times out of 10, where we walk them through, this is how you get a hold of me. Here's a link to my calendar. Here's what to do with problems. Here's what you can expect from me. Here's what we're going to be reporting on, et cetera, et cetera. Onboarding questionnaire, because we need to get relevant information from them, including name, address, phone number, NAP for my SEO people. And it needs to be consistent with like their properly registered business name. So we have to verify that like 100 times before we go live with stuff. Set up client accounts, set up reporting, and then do our actual client launch meeting. So all of these, literally, you could probably just use this and then put a few subparts under it. So my contract I'm sending through DocuSign or eSign or whatever else. Or
high level now.
High level. Oh yes, high level contracts now. Thank you. Thank you, Paulson.
Yeah.
sending them. Actually, we're going to talk more about how to use high level for my onboarding in just a second, but
Okay,
yes,
awesome.
exactly.
Yeah.
How do we do all of these? How do we schedule them through? My workflow automation can be as complicated or as simple as you like. In the early days with your first few clients, I'm all about doing things manually so that I'm able to figure out what I need. And then once I've done it enough times, then I'll set up the automation for it. Also, we didn't talk about this one yet, but I'll give everyone a copy of the client onboarding SOP. So I'll make sure that that's in the snapshot as well. So this will have all of those things, but just in a little bit more detail on how we're going to onboard people properly. All right. So this is what it looks like though. So you don't have to copy the slides. Basically what we're doing, optimizing client data collection. So we need multi-step forms to get everything we in. Again, we'll use high level for this because what it allows me to do is set them up through different pages so I can get name, address, phone number, best person to contact, when I can contact them, budgets, etc., social logins, etc. Need to schedule a call and need to engineer quick wins. What a quick win is again, we talked about this yesterday, especially with the email re-engagement campaign, is it eliminates buyer's remorse. So a lot of, in fact, buyer's remorse is probably one of the most common. Every time I buy something, I was like, did I really need that? Even if I did and I wanted it, I was like, I'm not sure. So if we can justify their decision and be like, hey, you're a smart person for doing this thing. And like, I'm going to prove to you that you're a smart person by showing you the results of what we've got. So this is why I love like a customer re-engagement campaign, getting some citations built for them right away, showing them a few leads that have come through in conversations. Anything I can do, I need a process for.
And
Embracing.
often one more thing, people have a misunderstanding of how do you define big wins as well. Like just the fact that you're live with the campaign could be seen as a big win in the beginning.
Yeah.
And you can reach out to your customer, hey, great news, we're live with the campaign. We'll keep you posted on results, right? Like to them, that's a big win because nobody's ever done marketing for them in the past. So we're live on Facebook platform or YouTube. Like that itself is a big deal where for me and you and all of us here, going live with the campaign is not a big deal. We're more concerned about the number of leads or whatever it generates. But remember, think in the client's perspective of what they define as a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome point. Awesome addition. There we go. Enhancing client onboarding experience. So welcome gifts are optional. We'll use this occasionally if they are like a high ticket client, so thousands. But even if not, like say they're $500, $1,000, the time it takes to send like a handwritten card, basically nothing. It's next to free, and the result, like the feedback you're going to get, will blow your mind because again, no one does it. So it's like if you go to like wherever, Target, buy a stack of cards, sign some things, whatever it is, send them in the mail, like literal old school direct mail. That works well. I've used other software as well where we've automated it. And even that gets a positive feedback. Kind of looks like a handwritten card and everything's nice. And it costs like 80 cents to send out. Tiny, tiny things. For bonus points, I feel like this is like the secret thing of the whole presentation. The best results we've ever had were mail order brownies. Like I'm not cookies, not cupcakes, like they gotta be mail order brownies, whatever it is. Every time we've sent, and you can just Google mail order brownie service. It'll be $20, $50, $100 if you want the fancy box. I promise you, you send new clients a box of brownies in the mail, you will blow their mind. They will tell everyone they know about how great you are. It'll be the best money you ever spend. So
yeah, and same thing. I'll tell you the same experience. Anytime we launch the 5-day challenge or the SaaSpreneur programs or the old SAS FasTrack program, we used to send out these $100 gift boxes to everybody that signed up, and it would have like literally not much in it. It's just a T-shirt and a pen, a bunch of like Scrabble paper. And I think like a cup, like one of these little ice Yeti cups. But I mean, people go crazy about that versus the thousands they spend, and they just love it. They become raving fans. And we have a lot of data behind that for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing. So like whatever is comfortable for your level. There's a book I read once as well that I really liked that, now I can't remember it, but what he recommended doing was you buy a stack of your favorite book and you highlight parts or put in sticky notes, and you can get your assistant to do this, and you'll just highlight sections that are relevant to them and their business. You'll be like, I like this book. I thought of you, thought you'd find it useful. That does well. But again, for the easiest hit ever, the brownies, just send brownies. Yeah. All right. Communication transparency. This is important because again, over communication is your key here. I couldn't tell you how many times I've had clients refer me to other clients being like, Adam always calls me back. Like that was literally it wasn't Adam's good at marketing. Adam got me leads. None of that. It was like literally when I call him, he either picks up or he calls me back. And that was it. Like that was the secret. So I let them know, hey, here's my phone. You can get a burner phone if you don't want to you can use your office phone, you use our high level phone. Like you can do whatever you need to do to make sure that it's maybe not your like personal cell phone where they're calling around the clock, but make sure they can get a hold of you. If not, use a calendar booking. Hey, anytime you want to talk, come here. It's a special clients only calendar, book a 15-minute spot, always available.
Yeah, I mean, even if you do something minimal, like figure out your clients' birthdays or business anniversaries and send them a quick email that just says, hey, here's a $5 Starbucks card, or something even very minimal could be effective as well. Just FYI for those of you that are starting out.
Yeah, the power of reciprocity, old Cialdini influence stuff. Client communication. So this again really comes down to figuring out what your clients want and giving that to them. So KPI focused reporting, key performance indicators on what matters most to them. That's the thing. So if they're like, basically, how are you judging me on my success? A year from now, good things happened. What does that look like? What would be a really good month for you? And they're like, well, you get us 3 clients or 3 members or 3 of this or 10 patients or whatever. So like, cool. Now I know what I'm shooting for. So now I can show them, hey, we've added another one. We've added another one here. We've done this thing here. We're doing this here. Hey, by the way, all of these efforts, they're leading to this thing that you actually want. Also, monthly review calls. I like having these. A lot of clients I found, you'll do 1 or 2 of them, and then they'll be like, yeah, just send me an update. So in the beginning, I over communicate, I'm available, and they're happy to hop on the call. And sooner than later, they're like, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. He'll be fine. Like, just send me an update, show me what you're doing. And I still send weekly Loom video updates with the reports, because again, they take 2 minutes and they just buy, I think of them as like $1,000 a minute recordings, because they just buy me retention for another few months and whatever it is. So it's like, it's one of the highest value things you can do. Weekly touch points, basically talk about it here, however they like, but I'll typically do it through Loom videos. They're easy. Everyone likes them. And vision seeding, fancy term. What we're trying to do, we're trying to show them what's going to happen. Hey, by the way, next week on your agency, we're going to be working on this. We're going to be doing this. By the way, this has been really good. We've got this. We launched the campaign. Really excited about what we're working on right now, though, because we've got a new campaign we're launching. We've got this new funnel. We've got this. I have an agency I'm working with right now who I hired to help with email funnels and copywriting and that. And they're doing an amazing job of this. I told them, I was like, you guys are doing great. Because they're like, yeah, we just finished this funnel. Here's what we're working on next. And they show me the vision map. And I was like, they don't have a single word of copy written yet. I was like, I'm in. Send it over. That's great. I'll just keep paying. So yeah, we always want to like, this is what we're doing to help you continue to achieve your goals. All right.
I think that's the big key part. So I'm gonna get on my soapbox here for a quick second, because it needs to be addressed. Account management is its own skill. Just FYI, right? So back in the day when we were scaling our agencies, I mean, we got, one of them got almost up to like 800 plus clients, and we had a really hard time finding account managers. What I did was find individuals in hospitality, hotel management industries, and also a big secret, travel agencies. They have the best account managers, if you ask me, because they would deal with high stress issues with a bunch of people's private jets and travel plans that are all international. Nobody's got a passport. They deal with the worst things, even more than agencies. So like, I like to find people that can handle stress. That's my first number one thing in who I want to work with. So when you bring in people like that, you can teach them marketing. You can also teach them relevant needs that they need to talk about. Outside of that, they don't need to be expert at Facebook ads and algorithms and YouTube ads. So they just need to really know how to communicate. So account management, if you're starting out, like, lean into the problem that you're facing. Don't run away from the issues. Like, if something goes wrong, it's so easy for us to pass at, just drag out 3-4 days before you call your customer. Versus, let's say you crush with the campaign. I promise you, you have no problem calling that customer literally in an hour. Like, dude, I'm the shiznit and I'm crushing it. Like, it's easy to have that conversation, but start practicing dealing with the problems that you face in client issues. Like it's
Mhm.
okay. Your clients rather be informed versus completely blind dealing with an issue. And with that, you can create SOPs that help you limit those problems, limit those issues, and have checklists so you don't make the silly mistakes like I did of just running $5,000 worth of ads instead of 500, right? So like think of this, you're going to have to create your own SOPs at the end of the day. Adam's SOPs or my SOPs, none of these are going to be relevant for you.
Mhm.
You need
Mhm.
to create your own. And the reason why is to really, really get closer to your clients, be able to communicate better with account management. Anyways, I'm gonna get off my soapbox here.
Yeah, well, it's an important soapbox because, like, yes, and I think also if we're going to be embracing challenges head on, the best thing is this sense of accountability and like, here's what happened, here's what I'm doing or what I've done to fix it. That's the secret. So it's like you never show up to someone with just a problem. You always have to be like, here's what happened, here's what I'm doing and or have done to fix it, and then oh man, it's funny because again, the things that we think are like death sentences, the clients will be like, all right. Okay, sounds good. Okay, see you tomorrow. Like whatever it is, it's just not as big an issue. So service delivery SOP, exactly like Paulson said, these are examples because you're going to have to build your own depending on what you're doing and what kind of service that you have. So this is it. We need business manager, page, ad account, admin access. But I'm putting this as a checklist because I don't want to forget. Oh, hey, Mr. Client, I totally forgot. Can I have access to your page? Call them later. Forgot to get your ad account. Hey, me again, forgot to get your manager too. And like now you look, it's amateur hour. So you don't want any of that. You want a streamlined process. I need this. Here's how to get it. Create a high level sub account, link Facebook, set up instant form landing page to collect lead information, set up automations, automatic SMS follow up, create 2 to 3 variations of ad copy, send to client for approval. A lot of them want to take a look at it, make sure that what you're saying is legit. They're like, I can't offer that. That's actually not true. We're going to get in trouble here, etc. Assign metrics to campaigns, allowable and max cost per lead. This one I debated putting in there, but it's going to depend on the sophistication of your client. So we had this discussion actually yesterday where it was like, what if my client doesn't know their lifetime value, their cost of acquisition? What if they don't know all these things? Then we're going to have to sort of help them figure all of that out. Some of them will, some of them won't. And then create launch campaign and monitor daily in the beginning, but then we send weekly updates on launch after 3 days, 7 days, every week thereafter. And again, this is going to depend. If you're managing $100 a day, probably weekly is fine. If you're managing $1,000 a day, every few days, if you're managing $10,000 a day, we typically would like look at this thing every single hour all day because things can just go wrong. All right, so here's the takeaway point on SOP. Start small, scale from there. So client acquisition, we might have a few SOPs. Client onboarding, we just have our one. Service delivery, now we've got a couple things here. One of them's a checklist, one of them's a little bigger, one of them's here. They're just things that we can go back to again and again, which are designed A, to make your life easier, and then B, to make sure that you have a repeatable, scalable, systemizable, automatable, our word of the day yesterday, process that you can use again and again. So how do you do these? How do you create them? Google Docs. Easy. Loom, if you need to. This is how I typically train most of my contractors, freelancers, employees. I make Loom videos and they're boring and long and I walk them through everything I'm doing. And now I'm clicking this and now I'm entering this. Now you'll see I'm over here and I'm entering this. Now I'm doing this. But after like, I've made 3 of those for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes. They just watch them again and again. Sometimes they'll transcribe them. Sometimes we'll put them into fancy documents, or they'll just watch the Loom video. And then once my employee has been with me for long enough period of time, they're responsible for making future Loom videos because they probably found a better process than I have.
Yeah. I think the best day to do these is like Sundays, like 4 hours in deep in the night, like 9 o'clock or midnight, like something like that is probably the best way to go about it because you need a dedicated time where nobody's bothering you. It needs to be almost tunneled where you're focusing on something like this. And this is a perfect example of activities you don't do in your business week because now you're taking away from sales activities or actual fulfillment activities. But like Adam said, you don't need to build this before you do anything. Like don't hide behind these needs in order to stop doing sales or lack thereof.
Totally. Yes, exactly. And then high-level automation for SOPs. Client onboarding example, right? So I'm going to give you the easiest example here, something that we should all have set up. basically we go, and I'll show you what this looks like in a second, but essentially there's some kind of a trigger. We send the onboarding form and invoice. I'll just send them in an email. We'll give an internal notification to the team, either through SMS, email, or through the app. And then I'll send the client an onboarding email with a calendar link for the kickoff call. So it's very, very simple. And this is literally what it looks like. So we've got a trigger. So typically I'll do like a form submitted. I could even do this manually. If I move them over in the pipeline stage, I'll just click and drag them over, or I'll send another trigger to have happen. Email, internal notification. That's it. That's really it. Like everything's sort of baked right into there. So there we have it.
Nice.
Oh yes, my hiring SOP. So again, I didn't want to talk about this too much. We can go into it if it comes up in questions or whatnot, but essentially I'll make sure to add another SOP for how to hire people. So there'll be how to use Upwork, a sample job post, and some screening questions as well that I use, which you're going to be able to use for Upwork, Fiverr, High Level with our certified people that we've got. Like all of these different things you're going to be able to go through and make sure that you find the right fit. Because one of the most common questions I get is, how do you pick the right people? And here's my answer, and it's the best that I've got, but you got to kiss a lot of frogs. So it's like, if you're looking for the princess or the prince, you're going to have to go through a few different people to find the ones that you really like, which is why I'll typically give them low budget contract project-based work. So I won't bring someone in and be like, here's your 10K a month retainer, go make ads. I'll be like, hey, can I give you $200 to write me what you think is the best Facebook ad and how you would design it? Can I give you $500 to build this simple funnel and put it here? Can I give you $1,000 to build out this process? And then at the very least, I'm going to end up with something workable that I can fix later. And at the best, they're going to do an amazing job. And in fact, as your agency grows and as you have more time than money, my approach now is I'll typically hire a handful of contractors at the same time for the same project. And I'll get them all to do it. And then I'll just look at the best one. And there's always a best one. And you're like, this person is clearly leagues ahead of the others. And if I hired all these others because they were cheaper or whatever it was just going to cost me more in the long run. Okay, some books. Just quick suggestions on eliminating constraints, because this does come up a lot on how do I actually grow and scale and do all of these things. So rapid fire, 10x easier than 2x. Really good book on sort of thinking bigger. 80-20 principle. I live and die by this book and principle. This is the core of how I live my life. Paulson, you're nodding. It's like, this is what all of us at this level do. It's just, it's innate now. The one thing, the question here is, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? This is from Jay Keller and Papazan, what's his first name? Regardless, founder of Keller Williams. Essentially what we're trying to do here is we're trying to find the tiny hinge that swings big doors. Normally this is a person, but sometimes it's a process. So it's like, who's the person I need? Is it the account manager, the ads person, the SEO person, the whatever it is, like the salesperson that's going to make everything better? Essentialism. This is again about focusing on the things that actually matter rather than all of the trivial many. So it's like the vital few versus the trivial many. I listen to this once a year minimum.
That's Greg McNown or something.
Yeah, Greg McEwen. Yeah.
McEwen. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Super powerful book. Of all of the like quote unquote minimalist books, I think I resonated with this one the most because it sort of told a funny story of him like missing his his child was born and he went to work right away. I did that in the early days. My child was born. I was like running back to the office, and then I read the book. Oh, what am I doing? This didn't go well. So Deep Work, Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World. Basically anything by Cal Newport is kind of important reading. What this basically says is, hey, go to work, close the doors, turn off your phone, do your appointment setting for the next 4 hours, and you're going to make more money than everybody else that messes around for 12 hours a day.
Yeah. You know what's funny about all these things? I'll get excited. By the way, I really think we could have hung out in a library. Yeah, I know. The
list
of books that you like shared is literally, I have it in my library. I can see the Deep Work one with the orange cover and one.
Yes, yeah.
But anyways, anytime I go tell my wife, hey, honey, I learned something new that I should just focus on 4 hours worth of work. She's like, I've been telling you this for like 30 years now. Like, do you have to go read a book and somebody else tells you these things? And what's funny about that is like, we laugh about it. But what's funny is that entrepreneurs, we don't receive messages or content well from just random people. So
Yeah.
when we get it from like a book, we see it as an authority,
Yeah.
and we really could implement that into our lives. And most of this stuff is common sense in these
Yes.
books, but it's like you have to create a discipline. The best form of love that you can have for yourself is with the currency of discipline.
Yeah.
And that's really what it all comes down to. The
Yeah.
guys that are crushing with agencies, they have discipline. 7 a.m., they start dialing. They don't do anything else. They don't have fancy offers and funnels and all of that, but they start dialing, right? And that's really what it all comes down to. It's not no waha, big strategy that nobody ever thought about. But anyways, let's keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Two real quick points on that one, because it's funny. This is up till now, we've been very tactical, strategic, and all of that. We've delved a little bit in the mindset here and there, but the thing that drives this is like, you really do have to figure out why you're doing this and why it's important to you. So it's like, what are you doing all this for? And if it's for something superficial that doesn't really mean it to you, like, you're just going to put it off and do whatever you need to do. But if you can make it real and visceral and be like, deathbed chats with myself, did I really fulfill my potential? Did I do all the things that I need to do? You'll find this drive and motivation that makes all of this like almost effortless. Like, you just do it because you have to do it. And then fortunately it becomes easier from there. And yeah, it turns into a discipline that's a routine. The reason we don't talk a lot about like what our regular routines look like sometimes is because they are a bit extreme with the amount of work that we do and how we do it. But it wasn't always that way. Like, this was a muscle that took time to build up. So start wherever you are. And yes. Okay. Growth strategies. 1 client to 2, 2 to 20. Number 1, got to reinvest profits. One of my secrets. Well, I think it's an old Dan Kennedy quote. It's like, whoever can spend the most to acquire a customer wins. It's either, I think it's Dan Kennedy, could be Jay Abraham, but I think it's Dan Kennedy. I see some nodding. We're good.
One of the OGs.
Good. We got Dan. It's a scary thing to start when you've got more time than money. But the fact is I did this with one of my first agencies when I started running ads that I couldn't afford. And I spent $5 a day, and I was like, this is insane. How am I even, like, I need this money to buy tonight's dinner. But then it ended up working. I got a client. So I spent 10 a day, and then I spent 20, and then 30, and then 50, and then 100. And when you're spending 100 or 200 or 500, you start to create this gap that other people simply can't come in and fill. So it's like, someone's not like, I'm starting an agency and I'm spending $1,000 a day on ads. It was like, well, you're going to be broke in 2 days because you've got to build up the mental muscle and the skill to do it. So it's like reinvesting in not just your ad spend, but like your contractors, your training, your support, your software, your mentorship, the groups that you're in. We're constantly proving, essentially, not only are we up-leveling our skills, but we're proving to ourselves that we've made a commitment and this is actually important. And then a weird switch goes on in your brain. Also, you got to track and monitor which channels bring in the most clients. This is why I like SOPs, having it in a Google Doc. I did Twitter DMs. Nothing happened. How many did you do? I did 3. Okay, we'll do 300. Then we'll chat. Good. I did 300. It still didn't work. Awesome. Let's try Instagram DMs. Let's try rephrasing this. Let's figure that out. Cold email, networking groups, social media posts. What's working? What are your clients' most common pain points? This is especially relevant if you're at like 1 or 2 clients and you want to get to 10 to 20 to 100 to 200. You've got to figure out these consistent threads and themes that run between all of them. What's the language they use? Is it leads? Is it members? Is it patients? Is it clients? Is it students? Is it sales? Is it customers? Is it revenue? What's the thing and what's stopping them? And then we just literally come in and say we fix that. It sounds crazy simple, but that's it. They're going to tell us a pain. We're going to reiterate it. They're going to be like, yeah, that's it. And then we're going to show them how we fix it. They don't know what to do. They can't get enough clients. They want to rank higher in search engines, etc. Are there services that clients request that you don't currently offer? Be careful on this one, because we don't want you going down this rabbit hole of like, now I do all of the things. But if there's this theme, like say you're doing SEO, for example, and like clients keep asking you about Facebook ads, like it might be time. There's a reason. So personally, I find my favorite, most effective, profitable tool to use is email marketing. Full stop. But clients never want it. It's like one of the hardest things to sell. It's hard to track and they need access to all kinds of things. It takes a ton of work to copyright. So I rarely talk about it outside of like inner circles here. Like I love email marketing. It's phenomenal, but my agency has never sold email marketing services. Just like we've never sold content marketing services. I love content marketing. I do it up myself all the time, but it's a tough sell. and they don't get it. And then again, think of our golf analogy, doesn't get me there. Keep learning and growing. I think it was interesting, Paulson, you showed your cards right there with like, yeah, this is my library. Like the books that I referenced, hey, not only has Paulson read them, he has them all. I was like, well, that's because we prioritize learning and growth. And yeah, I bet if we had a book swap, you'd probably find all the same titles. It's like there's going to be books on marketing and personal development and sales and prospecting and all of these things. So it's like we have to keep audiobooks, Kindle books, paper books, seminars, conferences. And yeah, again, I'm always so scared of sounding super hypey, but like there is really no ceiling with where we're at right now. Like, yeah, you can be in the 1% by the end of the year. You can be in the 0.1%, and then you can be in the 0.01%. So it's like, we know people, and there's crazy stuff here. So the only way to really know that is to actually be experienced to it. So the first time that someone said, hey, Adam, you can make $1 million a year in your agency, I thought they were on drugs. I was like, this is not true. You're lying to me. This is not a thing. No one makes that kind of money. And then I met someone that did it. And I was like, wait a second. Then I met another person. I was like, huh. Then I met another person. I was like, wait, something's wrong with me. Why is this not happening? And then I met all of the people. I was like, okay, hang on. Not only is this possible, this is actually the standard. This is sort of like the frame of where we should be. If we don't have a 7-figure agency, something's gone wrong. So then it was like, okay, well, if that's the standard, that's what we do. So we rarely rise to the level of our goals, but we always fall to our standards. We always make sure that we have enough food to eat. We have a safe place to sleep. So if these levels become like 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever it is, becomes your standard, yeah, good things happen. All right, I think now we're going to start diving into a bit of like SaaS versus agency versus et cetera, et cetera. But here's my approach if you've got nothing. So get 1 to 2 clients in exchange for testimonials and case studies, then get 1 to 2 more clients at $1,000, then get 1 to 2 more at $1,500. And then from there, I like 3 packages of $1,000, $1,500, $2,500. Later, I'd rather you be at $1,500, $2,500, maybe $4,000 or $5,000, depending on what you're doing. The goal though, is to get to 10 clients at $1,000 a month or 4 clients at $2,500 a month, which works out to $10K a month. This is a arbitrary, irrelevant number, but it's powerful mentally. So for me, I think I mentioned this yesterday, my life changed at a few pivotal moments of where I realized what was possible. One was when my agency hit 10K a month and I was like, whoa, I can actually do this. The second one was probably around 30K where I was like, I literally can't spend this much money. And then I think the third one after that was probably like 200K, where I was like, this is insane. And I didn't believe this would ever happen. Every point after that, nothing changed. And actually the point between 30K and 200K, very little changed mentally either. I still wear the same blue jeans and drive the same minivan and literally life did not change at all, but it was this mental shift. So I think it's important to have these goals and we need to work towards them, but you have to realize that like what's going to change? Questionable. $1 million math. 1 client, 83 grand a month, 10 clients, 8,300, 100 clients at 833, 1,000 clients at $83, 10,000 clients at $8.30. I don't know if I'd want to go that route, but like there's a number of different ways that you can cut this pie. But I appreciate, actually, I made this slide first and I was like, hang on, let's make this even better. So let's do 100K math. 100K, that's $8,333.33 a month. That's 1 client at $8,333 a month. I can tell you from experience, these clients very much exist. They're out there and they spend 10K a month, 20K a month, 50K a month. So you could do that and you've got a multi-6-figure agency. 10 clients at $833 a month. That's it. 10 clients, $833 a month. I mean, like we're almost in the SaaS range with a little bit of a bonus. Yeah. 100 clients at $83 a month. We're talking low ticket products now. 1,000 clients at $8.30 a month. I don't know any business model where this would ever make sense, but there we have it. Or 10,000 clients at 83 cents. I don't know. You're selling gum or something like that. But like, there's a model here for everyone, for every price point. So it's like, we just have to figure out what's going to be best for you and what you want to achieve and how you want to get there.
Yeah. In my experiences of taking my agencies to well over 100 grand a month is you deal with different types of problems at like, I think there's some thresholds, right? So like the standard 10K threshold for the new person jumping out, that's the big threshold that they really have a hard time getting over. So like going from 0 to 10K is a lot harder than going from 10K a month to 25 to 30K. Right? So the problems you deal with at the 10K range is like you have to confirm the offer, figure out ad copy, and really crack the code on one of the platforms. You typically also cannot ignore organic by then, right? And at that point, you have an appointment setter, you got somebody that's handling your fulfillment for you, possibly, and you're doing all the sales, trying to figure it all out, right? That's really the activity of the agency owner. When you get to the 30K mark, you're trying to figure out how to do less, right? You're trying to figure out, how do I get someone else to do what I'm doing as the business owner? So either you bring in someone to handle all your sales, or you at that point bring in someone to handle all your fulfillment at that 30K monthly mark. And then that right there, you will struggle because you will not find someone like you. You will not find someone that's good as you when it comes to sales, selling your offers, and you typically won't find someone that you can trust to do fulfillment. So that battle of getting past the 30K mark is an enormous battle because it comes down to your skills of recruiting, creating a vision board for your employees and your team members to bring it all in-house and get them to work for you. Essentially, that's a big battle. You're having to become a certain person. You have to become a certain type of leader to be able to go past that 30K mark. Then when you go to the 100K mark, the problems are drastically different. You kind of don't know what's happening in your business, right? Because somebody else is at that point handling so many different areas of your business, and you're like, holy crap, like I don't even know how many clients I have, believe it or not, because there's, 20 clients at the $800 mark, you have 30 clients at $2,000 mark, and you got 5 clients at the $10,000 mark. You have different ranges of clients, and you're really focused on the big clients at that point because you're like, oh, if one of them walks out of the door, it's a big hit. So you're really focused on that. By then, you're probably putting on some weight, and you're probably mentally off by then, and you're like, crap, I'm pissing everybody off, and you're trying to keep it's really traumatic almost. You're trying to keep the team members together while trying to keep the family together, and then you're trying to figure out who else is doing 100K marks, and when you go past the 100K mark in the 250 ranges, what I've seen is you're focused on liabilities, you're focused on risk, you're focused on legally making sure you're doing the things right, regulations, you're looking at happiness of the employees, the culture. You're really focused on building a brand at that point. But anyways, these are the thresholds that I often see from my own personal experiences of building agencies, as well as others that I've learned from. And the big thing I can, really compliment Adam doing, and I've done myself, is we pay to get into these rooms. Right. I have no problem paying for a $5,000-$10,000 mastermind because now I'm with a group of 50 people that can also pay a $10,000 ticket to elevate themselves. And that's really what I try doing, is identifying the elite circles in my industry and kind of go from there, because all those people, like I just went to WebinarCon with Onyx Single in Florida. I mean, it's a $10,000 ticket. I mean, everybody in there was doing $10-15 million a year. Every single person in there, right? So you get into these rooms, that'll elevate you further. But anyways, Adam, let's talk a little further about anything else you wanted to share. I know we have to do Q&A.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, we'll keep rocking and rolling. It's funny because we don't talk about that too much. I feel like this is a safe space here for us to say it, because yeah, sort of like buying your way into those groups is the secret. Because there's no other way in, because you just haven't proven yourself otherwise. And it's almost like the money is this arbitrary badge of like, yes, I have this, so I'm willing to do it, so therefore I'm worthy of being around. And then it just, raises everything. I mean, that, like, looking back, the real tipping point where I started making millions was when I got into those groups. Because then not only are you getting access to all of these ideas and insights and people, but the standard is just there. Yeah. If they're doing 10-15 mil a year and you realize they're just the most normal people, they're us. was like,
Yeah,
wait a
yeah.
second.
They're
So
they're the folks that flex about a minivan at millions of dollars.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The
Hey, it's
Lambo
only 50
kids.
years old. Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Anyways,
minivan for life. Yeah.
oh man, that was hilarious. That was my favorite moment.
Awesome.
Waterfall pricing. Let's get back into
Waterfall
it.
pricing. Yes. Okay. Yeah. We'll keep clipping so we can hit the Q&A. So 3 packages. What I like doing here, and the reason I call this kind of my no-fail sales system, is I'll go in with a client and I'll have sort of like cards up my sleeve. So I'll pitch them a couple different packages. I'll be like, look, based on what you've told me, here's what I think. Option number 1 is we've got this one. It's 2,500 and we do XYZ. Option number 2, we have 1,500. It does this, XYZ, et cetera, et cetera. And then I shut up. And then they normally just say, yes, I want the middle one or the top one or whatever it is. And if they're like, no, let me think about it, I'm fine. Yes, okay. This is not a high pressure sales situation. I actually don't mind letting them think about it. I'll call them later. We can have another conversation. But if their objection is still price, look, I love everything you've said. I just literally cannot afford it. I say, cool, you can do it yourself. Here's the SaaS, here's the setup. I'm going to give you the systems, the templates, the process, whatever it is. The beauty is they'll often do that and they'll be fine, or they'll do that and then later they'll be like, hey, you know what? I'd actually rather have help with it. Start high, only go lower if you know you're going to lose the sale. So a lot of people will be like, I have 2,500 and I've got 1,500, and then there'll be silence and they'll be like, but I also have 200. And they're like, just hang on a second, slow down. Let there be some breathing room. Let them think, let them go through it. Like, they're processing the information we just unloaded on them. So slow down. It's totally fine. We can handle this. We have to look at objections more as like questions that they're trying to get solved, and we're helping them make the right decision. Also, we don't reduce price without also reducing services. So if they're like, hey, your $4,000 package sounds amazing, but it's a bit too much. I was like, well, cool. We have the $2,500 package. It's like, yeah, but I want all those things. I was like, great. We can give you those things, but why don't we get rid of these other things then too, and get rid of these things? And why don't we not have missed call text back or have a re-engagement campaign? And what you're going to find is one of two things. They'll either be fine with it because they didn't really care about those things anyway, or they'll be like, you know what? Never mind. I actually really want those. I'll take you up on it. Hiring freelancers. We talked about this super quick.
I'm sorry, Adam. Can you go back to that pricing point? So like, those of you that are doing SaaS, you can always lead with SaaS and there's nothing wrong with it. The 3 packages that Adam is sharing, the essentially mid-ticket, that's not even high ticket, the mid-ticket packages are what I would consider expansion offers, right? So you have your gateway offers. We teach quite often having a Trojan horse, one specific feature at the $200 level, and then you move them into a core offer, which is usually like GMB, web chat reviews, and mobile app together. And then you push them into a bigger package like Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever. Now, you don't have to lead with SaaS. There's plenty of agencies that do the hybrid model of both, which we call SWAS, or Rob Bailey and Mike Cooch. Those guys call it, software with the service or service with the software. Either way, what you're doing is leading with $2,000 or $3,000 packages and parking them into a low ticket SaaS. So in case if they cancel out for whatever reason, you're not going to churn out the client. You're just churning out the service, right? And you park them into a $200 or $300 self-manageable SaaS. And those are things we teach in the 5-day challenge, as well as the SaaSpreneur course and the masterminds and all of that. But I just wanted to let you all know the waterfall pricing still applies to SaaS.
We don't have a reverse one of like waterfall climbing or ice climbing pricing strategy. Yeah, you can go up or down, again, depending on what you want to do. Also with the done for you services, because we do use high level and we are using the software in there anyway, like we do always have that option, so we can move them wherever we need to go. All right, hiring freelancers. We'll burn through this quick because I'll give you the SOP for it. But essentially, common sense here, when you want to get the best talent, you're marketing yourself. So it's like, you need to make sure that you've got a professional photo and a good description and you filled out all the details. Also, be kind, polite, and professional. Again, this sounds like common sense, but like, it's a small world. I don't know, like it's a small world, and freelancers talk and contractors talk and agency owners talk and everybody talks. So if you're polite and kind, you get better applicants. Like, the reason that I'm able to attract really high level people for what I consider very good rates is because they know that I'm going to be nice. Like, I'm going to be firm and tough, and we got to get the job done, and I'm going to help them and I'm going to coach them, but I'm also not going to like tell them rude things or cut them off or not pay them or anything like that. Like, pay on time, be good, etc. Also, Start small. So hire today, find someone for like 10 bucks an hour, get them to do an hour or two a week, and start building up that delegating muscle of like, look, now I've figured out how to hire someone. Now I figured out how to delegate a task I really don't like. Now I figured out all of these other things. They're not skills that you can jump into. If you like all of a sudden walked into a 7-figure agency, we wouldn't have the skills required to run it. We wouldn't know where to find the people. So we've got to start building these things up, keeping in mind where we want to go. All right, super quick. Agency growth funnel. I'm going to give you a paid ads example just to show you my thought process, and you can apply this to anything. So for example, we'll run a Facebook ad and we're going to measure the cost per click, CPC.
And this is for the agencies themselves, you said?
Yeah. So we'll run this to get clients for an agency, for our agency, if we want clients, but we can use this for any coaching, consulting, high ticket offer as well. Right. And the reason that I want to show this is because I want you to use this logic when you're reverse engineering your clients' offers. So if you've got a gym and they want members, well, what happens for someone to become a member? Well, they do a call. Well, how do they do a call? Well, first they book an appointment, then they fill out a form, then they do this, then they need traffic. How are they finding out? Is it organic or wherever it is? So this is the process I use all the time. So for this example, we'll say Facebook ad, but it could be anything, Google ad, organic traffic. We'll send them to a landing page. We'll track our conversions. How many people go from actual click into actual sale? And now I'm tracking my costs as well. I'll send them, I call it an authority amplifier. This is essentially, we could call it a Godfather offer, an upsell. It's something that's showing them, by the way, not only do you have this, we also have this. And if you call us now, we'll give you free teeth whitening or free donuts or free workout sessions or free water bottle, or you get this thing, et cetera, et cetera. That will lead them to an application looking for around these conversion rates. But again, it's super variable depending on the industry. And then we'll get them to a calendar and we'll do the call. Now, here's what I want you to look at. Aside from just the flow, which by the way, we could literally go from Facebook ad to call and we could get rid of all of the steps, or we could go Facebook ad to sales page, or we could go YouTube video to VSL to whatever, like it doesn't really matter. What's important here is that you'll notice I've got all of my things tracked out around along the bottom so that my $240 cost per client, well, as long as my client's worth $241, I'm profitable. Obviously, I'd like to have 3 to 5x ROI minimum, but it's like, okay, if I'm selling something for $3,000 and it's only costing me $240 to make that, like how many guesses of how much I'm doing that? And it's like as much as I can, like as much as I can.
And those of you that are starting out, like I'll tell you this, the only thing that matters is getting to a world of inbound leads, right? You have to get to a world as an agency where inbound leads are coming into your business through organic or paid ads. So just so you have context and I've ran millions of dollars worth of ads for our agencies in the past. And I can tell you what sucks or stinks in organic will stink further just because you threw paid ads on it. Okay.
Yes.
So like, let's say you have a great offer that's not working that well on organic and nobody wants it on email marketing and social posts you're doing, or even meetup groups. Just because you told Zuckerberg to help you out, it's not going to be that good. Right. So don't waste your time over stomping on an offer that's not really working. But the opposite applies. If something's working really well organically, you want to get that to paid ads as quick as you can so you catch the window of that market. And just so you all have numbers just in general, like 40% of client acquisition is from paid ads for an agency. 60% of client acquisition still comes from organic efforts, right? So paid ads really will just become the amplifier for you, but it's not the all-in-all one and holy thing that you depend on to grow the business. It's the thing that adds fuel to the fire that already exists, right? Because at some point your ads will shut down. At some point, a platform algorithm will have changes. At some point, the US elections start and then all of a sudden ads don't work, right? Like climate of everything that's happening in the ads world, you don't want to, navigate through that. So organically have the foundation where your appointment setters first have a busy calendar, right? How do you get there? You got to have offers that make sense, right? And have platforms that bring in that traffic. And then when you go to paid ads, looking at these numbers, these are conservative numbers, just from my look of it. But it doesn't matter even if you got a client at $500. it's okay, because as long as you make 501, the math makes sense in the long term. And then from there, you can expand the client, have long LTVs and all of that. Adam, is this the same type of numbers you see across different offers and different platforms, or is this just Facebook ad only?
Yeah, it's funny because we will often see, like, this one's just Facebook ads only, but what we'll often see with other platforms is that the front end metrics might change, but like the back end will stay the same. So what often happens is people will run ads and they'll be like, I'm getting 50-cent leads, but they'll make no sales. And then somebody will get $5 leads, but make all the sales, or $10 leads and make all the sales. So it's like, I always start at the end, like, what's my cost of acquisition, customer acquisition cost, CAC. And it's like, say it's 240, 500, whatever it is, that's cool. Then I almost don't care. So I call those my defining metrics. And then everything pre that is my diagnostic metrics. So I use those to make sure I'm heading in the right direction when I'm testing a new channel. So if I'm all of a sudden I'm running Facebook ads, I'm $20 a click, I was like, this might not pan out too well. Then I can figure out and make tweaks. But yeah, we'll typically see higher cost per click with Google ads, but they're search driven. So they have intent. Whereas Facebook ads, they often don't have intent. So I've got to approach it from a different angle. YouTube ads, super popular topic. Everyone loves them, but talk about a complicated beast, because now you need your offer, you need your structure, you need your video, you need all of that. So it's like, we don't look at that. So 2 points on that one. First of all, advertising, exactly like you said, Paulson, I say advertising is an accelerator, not an initiator. So it takes whatever you have and it makes it more. So if it's an offer that's not selling, it makes it more not selling. If it's an offer that's selling well, it makes it more selling. So it's like, if you just do that, and again, these numbers have changed for me. I used to say, don't run ads until you're doing 20K a month in your agency. Now I'm more like, unless you're doing like 50K a month, we normally don't run ads, because unless you really know what you're doing, because otherwise,
another way to look at this is for fulfillment for your clients. If any of your clients come out to you and tell you, Paulson, I've got this latest new thing that I'm doing that nobody else has done, like, start running full speed like a marathon, because more than likely nobody wants it in the market, and that's why he's never or she's never been able to launch it. But go with the popular items in the business, right? Like Invisalign. When I was the Invisalign guy in the dental space, I would once in a while have a dentist that come out and be like, hey, Paulson, I've got the secret project in the military bases of South Carolina where we're developing a new competitor to Invisalign, and it's like this plastic melt thing for $500, and I'm going to compete with the Right Club, Right Smile Club, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm almost 1000% of the time always failed those campaigns because nobody's heard of them. Nobody's marketed to it. And it's one of those offers that nobody's ever seen. So same thing applies to you as an agency as well, right? Create offers that are a little bit more popular than just random feature-oriented stuff out in the creatives. Let's keep going.
Perfect. Okay, this one is a short one, so we'll be able to get through it. Client retention referrals. Create an army of client advocates and affiliates. Client acquisition can make you a living. Client acquisition and retention can make you a fortune. We need them to stay. So we focus on getting results, being kind, courteous, and professional. Really common sense again, super important. This is an old study, but found it still applies just today. I think it's back in 2008 they made this, but 5% increase in client retention can boost profits by up to 75%. This becomes even more so when you start looking at paid ads, because once you've invested, say you break even on your first month, well, if they all leave after month one, you're zero. Whereas if they stay for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 10 months, whatever it is, that's pure profit on your ROAS. Use GTKT. Get them, keep them. This is our focus. We spend our time getting the clients. When we have enough clients, we focus on getting them results. These happen simultaneously, synchronously, all the time. Also, when it comes to confidence, a big thing a lot of agency owners battle is imposter syndrome. Thinking, I'll learn a bit more, I'll watch a few more YouTube videos, I'll do this thing. Like, as long as you're one step ahead and you know something that they don't, and you have something that they don't have and you need, well, then you are in the driver's seat here. Also, there's more of them than there are of you. So you're a savvy, interested, curious, passionate marketer with goals, dreams, ambitions, who's committed to getting them results. There's not a lot of us out there that are like, we're going to make this happen and we're going to get good results. Whereas there's a ton of other dentists, chiropractors, landscaping agencies. Like, if they don't have it, they don't need it, whatever it is, that's fine. We move on. Also, this has been another secret sauce of mine. Treat their business as if it was your own. David Ogilvy quote that says, "The customer isn't stupid, she's your wife." So it's like we treat people with, yeah, it's a classic. We treat people with respect and dignity. I say that there's nothing I wouldn't do for your business that I wouldn't do for mine, or if it was like my mom's that I was looking after, something like that. Like everything we do is going to be with that intention, and over communicate. Most clients don't understand what you're doing. They don't understand what they're paying for. So you need to show them the work you're putting in and the results you're getting for them. And you need to do it a lot. You can slow this down over time. Fun fact, I had a client for 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. Literally for the past, like, actually they're, 7 years. For the 4 years, the final 4 years, they responded to 0 of my emails. 0. They would call me once every 2 years and be like, "Hey, got a question. I'm running a trade show. Do you have any ideas?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, hey, for sure. Here's this stuff." Every audit I sent, nothing back. But it was we just kept doing. And then I had others that wanted a lot of stuff. So best time to ask for a referral is a few weeks into your work and after a big win has been achieved. And I'm going to give you a referral script that I love using in just a second, but we get them a win, then we ask for a referral. We do not ask for a referral after an ad gets denied or as something doesn't rank or whatever it was, bad timing. So a few weeks in, the motivation is still high. We've done a good onboarding sequence. They're all excited. So here's the referral script. This is credit to Phil Jones from a book called Exactly What to Say. Basically, it's like, "Hey, Paulson, you wouldn't happen to know just one person, someone who just like you, who would benefit from da-da-da-da-da. Thanks." We can go into the specifics on why this is valuable, why this is a great script, but the point is it works really well. I would just copy and paste it. You can send this. I would put this in my SOPs so that it makes sure that it gets sent out. And that's a wrap. That is literally everything. We did it all.
So let's, for those of you that are staying through the end, I'm going to have special bonuses for you, just so you know. So stay through the end. The Q&A that we're about to do, we're getting a lot of great feedback about the Q&As in general. I see a ton of hands already raising, and there were a few people that were already raising it right when we started the session today. But either way, just a couple of big takeaways for those of you that may have questions around SAS. I'm going to share my screen for 1 second, just so I can kind of reiterate the point around SAS so you're not confused in any way, shape, or form. In the 5-day challenge, in the SaaSpreneur programs, in our masterminds, this is the business model we teach. And the business model is having a gateway offer with one specific Trojan horse feature. We recommend you charge $297 setup and charge $297 recurring as a core offer. And the core offer is basically the 4 pillars that I talk about, which is the GMB, the reviews, the mobile app, and there was one more thing I can't remember. There was one more thing: reviews, GMB, reviews, mobile app, and web chat. That's right, the web chat, right? And what a lot of the things Adam talked about is going to be around the expansion offers, where we're talking about marketing services, Google ad services, Facebook ad services. You don't have to lead with it, but if you do, remember all those folks that you're not closing the deal on, you can turn them into a downsell SaaS offer as well. So those of you that don't want to do SaaS at all, you can still leverage SaaS as a downsell, so you're not missing out on all those prospecting opportunities, and that doesn't hurt you. You're getting somebody to just basically do the do-it-yourself model. And the last thing I'll share is, in the world of business of marketing, if you're new, there are 3 ways to really service a client. It's the done for you. That means you will do the work for them. The done with you, meaning you will handhold them through the work. And the do it yourself, meaning they would have to self-navigate. All the offers you're building, all the campaigns, all these products and services you're building, it's always better to get to a world of do it yourself as a business, because that allows you to work with less hours, less resources. Of course, often that's not a fancy price tag, but it's easier to scale versus done for you or done with you in general. But with that in mind, let's go ahead and start our Q&A. Those of you that are staying all the way through the end, again, don't miss out. Today's the last day. I'm going to have a special bonus for you so that way you don't miss out on it. But anyways, I think Andre, hey, Andre, I think you were here yesterday. Let me go ahead and have you unmute And let me also have you start your video. Let's see here. There you go. Oh, there it
Andre,
is. Okay,
if I remember,
cool.
it was from Slovakia as well. Hopefully I'm right. I used to work out of Piastani, so Dobre Ranic, I think, is the afternoon, but we'll see.
Okay, there you are. Okay, awesome. If you want to unmute, go ahead. There you go. Tell us
Hi
what your
guys.
question is. Hey, how's it going?
So I really appreciate this 3-day workshop videos. I really appreciate all of the information. But since I'm still a newbie, I'm kind of confused where to start because there's just too much information for me at the start. So I want to ask, like, Adam, for example, what would you do in my shoes if you were a newbie, like, and you wanted to get the client as soon as possible? When I don't even have logo or anything, I literally just bought a domain. So that's the only thing I have currently. So what would you do?
Yeah, right on. Good question. I think if we're brand new and because we're doing marketing, I think first of all, there's two things. One of which is like we have the end goal of where we want to get to, which is mastery and knowing all the marketing things and all of that. But we're here at the beginning and we have to understand that we need to take one step at a time. So you're going to have to, first of all, develop the skill that you want to go sell. So it's like we need some kind of skill. Fortunately, all of these can be learned. Great marketers are trained, not born. Like you can learn whatever skill, but you've got to pick kind of the one that you think is most interesting, that you're most curious about. Could be analytical side, could be straight up lead gen, could be software based, could be Facebook ad, like whatever it is, there's got to be some skill to work on. And then I sort of let my curiosity guide me. So my agency, when I first started, it was like, I don't know, what do we do? Websites. Sure, websites. I build websites. So I built websites and then I was like, well, no one can find them. So I learned SEO. I was like, hey, wait a second. I bet I could get more traffic now with social. Hey, I bet I could get even more if I learned ads. Hey, I bet I could now do this if I started doing content. And so it's just started to like build on each other, but you've got to start with that one area that you're interested in. And then the rest will become clear. So I think two things: pick where you're interested and then accept that we're going to have to put in some like hard study time to like learn and master the skill.
Yeah.
Totally doable.
For me, I wasn't interested in any technical stuff. I hated all the features and all of that. And I liked I appreciated marketing, but I wasn't going to go die about it. Right. So I focused on sales. So all I did for like a couple of months is learn sales, and listen to people's phone calls, read a ton of books on sales, started listening to all the podcasts. Like about a month and a half in, I started feeling confidence about my sales tone and my voice. So then I figured out I can sell anything at that point. So then what I did was partner up with folks that did the fulfillment, and I learned their offers, and I would go sell it and split the revenue or have some kind of a commission package. So I actually didn't have to go learn a bunch of technical skills as well. So 3 different ways to go about it. But great question here. Let me go ahead and go to Lewis. Hey, Lewis, how's it going? There you are. Okay, awesome. Let me go ahead and unmute you.
Hey, Paulson, can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, we hear you. Awesome.
Perfect. Well, first of all, thank you guys for putting on the clinic. Amazing. Honestly, wasn't expecting as much value as was provided. So thank you. I'm a life insurance agent and I've run ads for myself for my business and I've got amazing results. So you guys kind of got me over the fence of starting my own agency. Where should I start? I have a personal brand where I've been posting on Instagram for quite some time. So I have already I guess, following of insurance agents that know what I do. What would you or Adam recommend first step to do to start getting results?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you've already got a personal brand around it, so you've already got one of the hardest things, which is like you've chosen the niche that you want to focus in on. So it's like, cool, now we have a niche and you have experience, expertise, results. I mean, to me, it's pretty simple. I would start reaching out to my network and being like, hey, here's what I've done. Would you like me to do it for you? Here's what this will look like. Full disclosure, you're going to be my first person that I bring on. So we're going to work together. You're going to tell me what you need, what you think's good. I'm going to help you build it. And then I would do that for 2 or 3 people. And very quickly, you're going to realize what works, what doesn't, how this scales, how you're going to be able to take your own style and personality and brand, and then kind of chameleon effect that onto other people. because it's different when we do our own marketing. Also, side note, if you can do your own marketing and be successful with it, you're going to have an infinitely easier time doing marketing for other people. Like doing your own marketing is really hard because we're inside the jar, so we can't see the label. It's like I still have a hard time writing my own copy. I have people that go over my VSLs and webinars because I was just like, I don't know, this is me, and I don't want to be too pushy, and it just comes off wrong. So yeah, that's my tip. But Paulson will have some more.
Yeah, I think when I see people similar to you that are professionals in a certain industry, and you're not an agency just yet, building an agency is very difficult. Okay. I would partner up with someone that already has some traction in your industry and go down the route of being their face. Like plenty of agencies don't want to put their face out there for anything for whatever reason, because they have multiple brands, multiple industries, they have limitations for multiple reasons. But I would definitely partner up with an agency rather than starting from scratch. That's my first instinct. The second thing I would look at is like, just because you're successful in an industry doesn't mean you're doing things the right way. There could be another insurance agent that's doing 250 grand a month, and they have streamlined systems and processes, and they have franchises behind them, and you want to explore other professionals in the space as well that could potentially partner up with you, so you're not battling an industry by yourself. But those are the two things that I always realize is, high level is too much for someone like you that's in the industry, unless somebody has handheld you through high level like an agency or a freelancer. And even then it's too much for long-term build outs and stuff like that, unless you're a technical professional in a sense, right? I'm not discouraging you. I'm just telling you the fastest way to revenue is going to be leveraging someone that's already figured it out.
Got it. Well, I guess I have a lot of confidence because I built it out.
Okay. Yeah.
Whole process on Go High Level already. I've been using it for a year.
Yeah. So you can't consider yourself the standard industry person. You're a lot more than that, because you're technically, astute, and some marketing, and how things are. So odds are, download your snapshot, go to another professional and say, hey, I built this out for my own business. Can I test this for you? I'm just going to put together a 10-person beta at $300 a month, and I'll refund you if it doesn't work out, and just start running a beta.
All right, cool. Thank you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go with Charles. Hey, Charles, good to see you as usual. Let me go ahead and unmute you there. Awesome.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm going to come at this a little bit different. Well, as you know, Paulson, I've been doing this for a while. I think I got the technical part of it fairly well figured out, depending on who you ask. So one of the biggest challenges I've been running into is when I actually sit down with someone, I'm like 80% or so closing rate. Getting someone to actually sit down with me and talk about, what my agency is actually offering and stuff, that seems to be the fun part. Now, I've been doing, I was on with you and Andy when you guys did the
webinars.
The webinars, and I did the 5-day challenge, the SASpreneur, just about all of them. So I've been kind of like going through all that stuff, and like I said, probably the biggest weakest point that I have seen is being able to get people, to do the demo calls, to get them into the webinars, etc. And what I wanted to do was to get like your input, and maybe even Adam's, is you kind of touched upon this yesterday and even a little bit today, where you were talking about partnering with someone who, and now this actually goes back to what I was doing before, how we actually first met, was I've been coaching people how to use the Go High Level platform, how to do stuff and everything in it. So the thing that blows my mind, that I'm having the hardest time wrapping my mind around, is, these folks don't, a lot of folks are going out, they're getting customers, but they don't really understand the platform. I understand the platform, is just, I'm having a hard time getting people to get in the demo calls, the one-on-ones, the webinars, etc. But when I do, I'm successful at it. It's just getting it to the point. So in a nutshell, what I'm getting at is what you really piqued my interest yesterday when you were talking about, a lot of the folks on the platform are really good at selling, but they're not so good with the tech part. And I'm like, wait a second, that's what I've been teaching a lot of people. So what, if you don't mind, expand upon that or extrapolate on that a little bit more, if you would, please.
I think there's only two types of people in an agency. Either you're really good at sales or you're really good at technical. For all my friendly folks out there that feel like you can do both and you're good at both, odds are in my favor when I say you're probably not good at both. Right? You're either good at the engineering or you're good at talking to people. And I early on, the big like superpower I had was avoiding the mistake of going and learning a bunch of new stuff in order to go sell. I just learned how to sell early on, and that's all I focused on. So Charles, in your, like, I know you personally, you've been to like almost every program we've had, and you've been with us for a long time now. I think you should consider partnering up with someone who's really good at sales and let them it's not even the focus. It's like the amount of time that it goes behind building these things out doesn't allow most people to be consistent on sales activities throughout the days, right? That's really another side of it. It's not just the skill set difference. It's the time that it takes and it consumes. Like you got to be doing 150 to 200 phone calls a day. That's what it takes to build a business. So then when do you have time to go build stuff out, right? So I'm in the side of do what you love, everything else outsource. That includes sales versus account management stuff. And Charles, to your point, mostly a lot of people are really good at selling this stuff. They're not as good at the technical stuff, which is why someone like you, who's I consider like a wizard of high level, like you can do a lot of cool things, and it doesn't mean the clients will ever know all the cool things you build out. They will never understand the power of workflows. Like it just won't happen because their minds are not in that technical world in general, right? So
they don't give a shit about that. They just want the results.
who walked in the door? How much did they pay me? That's all they care about.
Right.
And I think Adam's big point was give them the results, right? Adam, you want to add to that?
Yeah, those are all good points. I mean, to me, client acquisition is the lifeblood of the business. So it's like, first of all, like, I'm good on you for being self-aware there. It's like, yeah, the close rate's amazing, but if we can't get enough people to want to do it, that means that we just need to, again, it's sort of what day one was all about, like client acquisition. Like, to me, again, this is sort of, I just know the importance of having that. Like you could have the best business in the world, but if no one knows about it, it doesn't matter. So it's like, we've either got to get really good at client acquisition or we've got to find someone that's really good at client acquisition, because then your business just blows up. Like that's the secret. Like if you can close at that rate, again, let's look back to today, theory of constraints. Where's the constraint? The constraint is I don't have enough lead flow that lead to the sales calls that go to there. So I need lead flow. So either I can get really good at lead flow, or I can use one of the billion different people or methods or ads or strategies or content or marketing or whatever to then fill my funnel that way.
Yep. And this is exactly why you see like 19-year-old kids doing 100 grand a month with their agencies, right? Because they haven't even been alive the amount of time some of us learned marketing, right? But they do. Like you look at a story like Jared Curry, you look at programs like guys like Ravi Abuvala or Joel Kaplan. Those are like friends of mine in the industry, and they have students similar to Adam as well. Like they have students that are very young and they're crushing it. So like it's very, in a sense, disturbing, but at the same time, that's really the reality of every industry. It's not just marketing, right? There is a donut shop owner that's 19 years old out there that's crushing it because they're focused on sales, right? It's not that craft is new or old. They just focus on, what brings the fruits to the business, which is inbound leads, appointments, setting appointments, and that's all that matters.
And I think Adam made a point earlier real quick that really resonated with me was, okay, if all these people are doing it, what the hell am I doing wrong?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which again, it comes down to like, get them, keep them.
Yeah.
So you can keep them. So you got to get them. And you can either master and learn and dedicate yourself to that skill, or you find someone to partner with.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, it is rare, the person that kind of can do both. In fact, even as someone, like, I like to consider myself that unicorn, but you put me and you in the back end of high level, you run circles around me. So it's like, and I'd like to think I'm pretty good, but then not when compared to you from the analyst. So clearly I'm sales, client acquisition, all of that side. So it's like, even when we think we're good at something, there's someone else that's better at us at that side.
Yep. Yeah. But I think it's good to divide and conquer. I'm a big fan of having half a watermelon versus a full grape by myself. That's not good.
That's a good, I like that.
I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I believe in partnerships. But anyways, Charles, I'm gonna get to the next question here, if
Thank
you
you.
don't mind. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you contributing to a lot of the sessions as well in other programs as well, Charles. I appreciate that. James, I think James, you're there. Let me have you unmute. So we're at 12:36. We're gonna keep this going for 20 minutes, okay? So let's rapid fire as quick as we can. Hey, James, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, first off, thanks a lot, guys. Unbelievable content. Adam, thanks as well. Paulson, you guys always seem to do a great job of getting people on and who are willing to share and great content. So thanks on that.
Anytime.
And my question is really, how do you prevent yourself from chasing squirrels? I mean, there's a ton of that. You jump online in the channel and everything, and everybody's doing this, that, the other. There are lots of pieces here, Trojan horses, all of that. And it's easy to get caught up in, okay, I got this. Wait, what about that? And so on down the line. And, as salespeople, entrepreneurs, we have that tendency to lose focus on one thing. And I think it's easier if we put somebody in place and say, hey, here's my vision, you go and do that. And I think that's partly what you're talking about, partnering with somebody, making sure, hey, this is my vision, this is how I got it, go do that. So how do you stop, that squirrel syndrome?
Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, this is awesome. That's such a good question, James. I think number one is you self-aware that by nature, entrepreneurs, we have this brain. Like, that's it. So it's like, it's not going away. That's step one. Step number two is to accept the fact that as you become more successful, the opportunities that get put in front of you become better, to the point that they're going to be like, the opportunities you're going to turn down next month, next year, 5 years from now are going to be insane to the outside world. They're gonna be like, why would you ever pass on that? So it's like, okay, cool. This problem is not going away. It's clearly going to be with me. Obviously I need a way to fix it. For me, it literally comes down to like that North Star of where I want to go. And then I use everything as like, I use that as my filter for deciding things. Is this taking me closer to that or further away? And like 99% of things take you further away. So again, it's like, what do I want to achieve? There, it's there. Okay, is this going to add to it or detract from it? There's another, Derek Sivers has a book called Hell Yeah or No. And it's basically like, if you don't get like this, yes, I'm absolutely all in, then it's a no. I appreciate though, in the early days where a lot of it's going to depend on your opportunity volume. Like if you're maxed out and you're totally busy and you've got all the clients you can handle and you don't know what to do, it makes it really easy to put that filter up. If you're looking around for opportunities and like you need to make money, I think you say yes to more things than you don't. But again, it's keeping in mind, where am I trying to get to? What does that look like? And for me, my secret has kind of been journaling. Like wake up, write down, hey, what do I want? What do I want to achieve? What do I want my life to look like? Where do I want to travel? What do I want to wear? What do I want my family to look like? What's this? And then all of these things that come up are like, that's pulling me closer or it's moving me away. But yeah, man, I wish I could say it gets easier, but it doesn't. Like, you just have to sort of, embrace the fact that we all have a bit of a squirrel brain and we've got to just keep retraining it.
Yeah. I mean, there are several variables here of why someone gets attracted to squirrels, and the idea that is like getting distracted by multiple opportunities, right? So for me, it's either, I knew this, either I'm going to learn it the hard way or I'm going to learn from somebody's mistakes. So if I chase those squirrels, 10 months are going to go by and no money's going to come in.
Mhm.
Then I'm gonna have to explain that to my wife, then my friends, my family. Then it's like it's a huge pain that I'm self-creating, right? So knowing that, I knew that I had to stay focused, but there were so many experts, so many gurus and coaches, all had different noise, and everybody had an idea. At some point, I had to cut everybody out and just say, I'm just gonna listen to Adam Erhart and no one else.
Mm.
I'm just gonna listen to Josh Nelson and no one else. I'm gonna listen to like Roxanne Ray or Julie Chanel or someone that I'm just going to say, I like this person. Let me just go all in on that person.
Mhm.
And even if it's not me or Adam or anybody that I'm sharing here, even if it's like a friend that's in business that you can be accountable with, find that person as quick as you can that you can keep that accountability where you have to explain your goals and what you originally focused on, and you have to just kind of stay focused there, right? That's the first step I would take. Now, outside thinking, stop eating sugar, power lift in the morning.
Mhm.
You tend to make better decisions,
Yeah.
right? And it sounds stupid, it sounds crazy, it sounds cliche, but stop eating sugar and power lift in the morning, and not in the evening, but in the morning.
Yeah.
You tend to make better business decisions, and I can't explain it. I'm not a scientist or a dietitian, but those are the things that I've implemented in my life that help me build massive businesses.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps in one way or another, James.
I'll weigh in on that one real quick too, Paulson. Just
Yep.
the food stuff, because yeah, we talk about it. I go to bed at 8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m.
Wow.
Ridiculous. I wake up.
Oh my
Well, this
gosh.
morning was a little weird. Yeah, but I wake up early too. So it's like I get my 8 hours, but normally like between 3:30 and 4:30, I'm awake. Then it's powerlifting. Then it's work right away. Actually, it's work, then powerlifting, then more work. Breakfast
Yeah.
is, this is going to be weird, but it's like
Yeah.
salmon and macadamia nuts and avocado and the weird protein shake thing, some vitamins, whatever else. Then it's more work. Then it's like it's almost ridiculous to the point that I rarely share these things because they're so weird, but they all work. And I think the big thing for me was that, yes, we could look into the science of it, or you could just look at all of the high achievers and what they're doing. And like success leaves clues. So it's like if enough smart people tell you, stop chasing shiny objects and focus, like eventually we just have to take it on faith that they probably know and I should probably listen to them. So that's been helpful. I was like, there's enough smart people doing this. I think I'm going to do more powerlifting and eat more macadamia nuts and do all these weird things. And sure enough, it seems to work.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to have leave me alone days. Like I'll tell my wife, hey, I need a leave me alone day once every 2 months or something, or once a month, where I'm just mentally focused on nothing outside of just me. Same thing with your clients, like, take a break from the business and step out and just not deal with any client issues. Don't log into high level, don't log into Facebook, nothing. Just focus on yourself. Go for walking, go for yoga, go on a fishing trip or something. Just get your mind outside of the mundane offices that we're really in at the house, and get out and do things. But those are small things that I've learned from 7-figure businesses that will teach you these things. And, as silly and elementary as it sounds, this is what really builds a business. It's the person and the ability for the person to be disciplined, not the tactics of how to attack a market. Anthony, I think Anthony, you're there. Let me see if I could. Yeah, there you are. Hopefully this is insightful. Anthony, what's your question?
Okay, so before I get right into it, I would like to ask you if you would send us the templates, because I didn't get any templates or scripts the days before.
Yeah, we'll have all of that set up in a Google Drive for everybody else to get. So it's going to be gohighlevel.com/GHL resources. But once we have all that set up, like the slides are not loaded yet, once it's all set up, we'll be shooting out emails so you can get all of it. If you want it faster, you can go to our success room and grab it faster if you want. But we'll have all the slides and recordings and all the snapshot links and everything out there for anybody that took advantage of the 30-day offer or the upgrades. And if you're attending, you'll get the slides regardless.
Great. So my question and my problem basically is because I don't do marketing. I just sell high-level SaaS, not even as a marketing CRM, but just as a CRM itself, automated things and stuff. Here in Greece, it's a little bit different than the US. And first of all, my problem is when I get on a call with a client, it's either like I don't need that much or I need more. For example, I got on a call with a real estate agent the day before, and because there's no property tab in the high level system and I can't implement it myself, he said, if I don't have that, I can't do anything like regarding the properties I have a mandate for. And the other day I got it in with an accountant and he said, I have like 10 to 20 clients. I don't need even for $100 a month the CRM itself. So I think I'm quite in between those two categories of clientele I've been getting the last few months. What would you think would like change this problem for the better?
Well, I think you need to be very concrete in your offer. There's no point in having variety and variability in your offer. Like, do not create a custom job with every SaaS client that's low ticket and you're creating a bunch of custom projects in SaaS. That's, you know, that's a big waste of time. I would go with one offer, take it or leave it. The first discipline you got to figure out is the no. You got to know when to say no. Right? So that allows you to have the same assembly line across the board. Adam, you want to add to that?
That's perfect. The only thing I'd say that basically elaborates on that point is it sounds like you're offering agency services at SaaS pricing, which makes me choke a little bit, because it's like, we've all done that, where that's the epitome of under promise, over deliver. But you're just gonna, like, yeah, sure, build them a custom one, but then it's $3,000 or $5,000 or 10 grand or 20 grand, or like whatever it is going to be for the amount of work. And if if you have a client that's like $100 is too much, then we've gone after the wrong clients. So we need to do more niche research. We need to figure out our potential clients better. We need to refine the offer. Yeah, there's a lot here. Your situation is super common though. So I hear you, whether it's SaaS or agency, people ending up in these situations, but the solution is like literally always the same. And it's refining who I'm doing it for, what my offer is, where they're present and active online, what I'm putting in front of them, what my packages look like. Like that's the $1 million question.
Great. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Let's go with Hamza. Hey, Hamza, how's it going? There you are. Let me go ahead and unmute you. Okay, awesome. Hey, Hamza, how's it going? Yep.
Fine. Thank you. So first of all, thank you for this fruitful webinar. It's been a lot. We've taken notes. Thank you so much. Thanks, Adam. I just subscribed yesterday, I guess, on Adam's affiliate link, but I guess it wasn't the workshop one. I guess it was the direct one. So we didn't benefit from the snapshots. And
okay, yeah, just jump in on a call with one of our success agents and a live agent, and they can add all the collaterals to you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So regarding the business, so we are putting the pricing methodologies, and in our system we want to put a risk reversal, if you know about this. So question to Adam, how can I put in perspective a risk reversal while I'm doing a service to my agencies?
Yeah. So obviously it's dependent on the service that you're providing for what the risk reversal is. So more context would be good, but assuming not, like literally risk reversal comes in anything that reduces risk. So we can offer a guarantee, we can offer pay per performance, we'll get you this many leads. We can do conditional guarantees of we'll generate you 100 leads at $5 or we'll pay the difference. Like the list is literally endless of ways that you can mitigate risk. The importance is two things. First of all, pretty much every agency these days has some kind of risk reversal guarantee. So it's like, if you don't have one, you need one, which again stems back to the fact that we should probably make sure that we know what we're doing before we start launching offers to all kinds of people, making guarantees that we're not going to be able to back up. The second thing is that the quality of the risk reversal is going to be directly relevant to the offer that you're making to the person and the pain that you're solving. Let me unpack that for a second. If I offer this many things guaranteed, it's irrelevant if people don't want this many things and they actually care about that. So I need to find out what they actually care about, what their metrics are for measuring success, and then I back that up. So example, if I've got a gym owner and they're like, we've got 100 members a month, we want to get to 200 members a month. I was like, cool, my offer now is an extra 100 members a month, or you don't pay, or we'll work for free until you do, or at the price of $3 a lead, or whatever it is. But now I'm specific with my risk reversal, which makes them be like, ah, I get it. That's for me. And there literally is, I cannot lose here.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
only thing I would add here is ask your customers or prospects what they want as a risk reversal, right? Hey, what's going to make you feel comfortable and for us to do business together? And they will tell you, well, Paulson, I don't want to invest all this money and take a loss. And I'm like, cool. You want a money back guarantee? Or some of them are like traumatized that nobody launched their website in 3 months. So then you make the promise, if we don't launch in 5 days, you get your money, right? Like you just depends on the customers as well.
So yeah, the problem is the service that I'm giving is not measurable. It's not like in 1 or 3 months you will get X and Y Z thing. It's like a service of coaching stuff and monitoring stuff. Like it's not a measurable service. So we cannot. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Real quick then. Go back and watch yesterday's lesson on the golf course analogy of like, you need like, I'll be blunt here. You need to tie it to some kind of tangible, measurable outcome that they're going to experience, or you're literally just selling stuff. It's like, we sell things and it may or may not help you. And that's not it. Like a risk reversal is irrelevant if we don't even know what we're getting. So you've got to find a way that like, what is it that you deliver for your clients? Full stop.
Yeah, with numbers.
Yeah. Tangible numbers. Yeah, like what's the offer? Yeah, what's the offer real quick? Like in 5 seconds.
So the offer is like coaching for when it comes to marketing stuff.
Like, okay, so we have an offer problem then, my friend, an offer problem. So I'd be like, coaching, again, you're gonna have to pick a niche. You're gonna have to make an offer to them. Like, I will help you show the system to get 5 new clients in 30 days, or you don't pay. I'm gonna teach you how to do this so you get that, or this happens. Yeah, that's gonna need some work.
Yeah, I would go into something specific, like marketing is so wide, right? So maybe I will teach Facebook ads that allows you to launch your own Facebook ads in 5 days.
Perfect.
See how it's like a very numerical thing, and that's probably the best way I would look at it. Let me go ahead and go to the next question here. Nick, there you go. Let's see, unmute.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah.
I'm glad you guys called me right after that question. Well, first off, just want to say thank you. I know everyone's been saying thank you, but I'll jump into my question out of respect for everyone's time. So I actually stepped into a new role at a company. I won't dive into too many details, but I think we're having an offer problem and I wanted to kind of discuss it. So we have 2 sides of our company. One side is obviously the CRM side that we're all doing here, but the other side is we also have a staffing arm that we have a partnership with, exclusive agreement within this industry. So so we have the outsourced team side and we have the CRM side. We don't do any lead gen. So I'm having a hard time right now. We have like a lot of nuts and bolts on things we can help with kind of operationally, or like we can do websites, we can do like admin support, stuff like that, kind of taking the hats off of the other business owners' heads that kind of detract from their core work. So we niche down to coaches because we have some coaches that have good results that I want to figure out how to leverage those case studies. I don't know how much of their success is from us, but we have coaches with results. So wanted to leverage those case studies, build an offer for coaches. And I'm kind of struggling right now with that because we don't do lead gen, and I'm trying to quantify what our ROI is for the client, what we're actually doing, because it's mainly admin based work. And I'm also trying to get clear on how we're using high level for our clients. So those are some of the questions I'm asking. Is there anything else that you think I should be asking?
Cool. Nick, these are like my favorite questions because they're around offer creation, which is literally, I don't want to make it sound worse than it is, but it's like, it's the hardest part of marketing and also the most valuable part of marketing. So a lot of people falsely believe that like, here's an offer formula. Now I have an offer and now it's going to work. And that's like, nothing could be further from the truth. Like a real good offer. Actually, I was just talking to a buddy of mine this morning about that because he's like, I have this new thing and it started to sell like crazy. Should I double down on it? I was like, yeah, you hit the holy grail. Like that's what we fight for our whole careers, to find those offers that just like, when someone hears it, they're like, that's me. And the light bulb goes off. How do you get there? Trial, error, market research, way more conversations than we've even had now. It's like, why did you come to us? What was the problems you came to us to solve? What's the biggest thing that you've found as a result? How is your life better now? What do you wish would happen that hasn't happened? Where do you think you could be if all of things went well? If I give you a magic wand and all of your problems were gone, what would that look like? What's the single biggest challenge that's stopping you from getting to the next level? What would solving that look like? What would be the deliverables? All of these things, like and a million more, they go into crafting an offer so that I'm able to be like, I don't offer admin support. What I do is I give busy coaches back 2 hours a day so they can focus on this. What I do is I help coaches streamline their calendars so they're da-da-da-da. What I do is I help coaches generate 50 to 100 qualified appointments every single month so they convert an extra 30 clients, which earns them $20,000. And again, all of this is directly from them. And right now it sounds like I'm just sort of spitting out marketing stuff, but literally what my goal is to take what they say and then parrot it back to them. So all of this just comes down to like, first of all, you're on the right track. All of this is good, but it's like, we've got to really, like, without knowing what it is, and like without you and I having like an hour-long conversation and going through all of these things, it's literally impossible. Other than the shortcut is take a look at what your competitors are doing and then try to make a better offer. That's probably the biggest shortcut, but
Yeah, I think from everything you described, I want to make the assumption that there's a brand identity problem. You don't know whether you're a marketing agency or administrative agency or a recruiting agency. Somewhere in between, high level is married all in there somewhere, right? So like when the market looks at you, they probably don't see you as a marketing agency, right? So it's an identity problem. So what you have to do is cut out the fat of like all like administrative work, as cool as it is. I mean, that you can only scale through hours, right? With high level in marketing, you can scale through results. You can scale through numerical end goals, right? So that's why recruiting agencies and, you know, administrative agencies, I mean, they're a lot less profitable than a marketing agency or a SaaS agency. So I think I want to make the assumption that there's an identity problem in the market of who you are as a brand to the market. And that's where I would probably start. Figure out who that is. There's nothing wrong with just realigning. Reach out to the clients and be like, hey, I'm pivoting. I'm moving offices, blah, 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 moving into a new thing. If you want in on it, we're building a software platform for this industry, right? Like that's easy way to just climb into a beta, but that's probably what my gut tells me. Okay. Hopefully that's helpful. Let's go with Carl Orton. So let's see, 12:57. We're almost done. Carl, thanks for recording. Hopefully you got some nuggets out of it. So you're recording the whole time. But anyways, Carl, your question, we want to address it before I have a few announcements to make here.
Hey, Paulson. Hey, Adam. I've had my hand up since Monday, so this goes back to a day one question. So, Adam, do you have a link? I looked at your YouTube. I couldn't find anything. I'd like to see an example video of your marketing audit. Do you have something like that? And
yeah, good question. Sorry, go ahead. Carry on first. We'll go back.
Throw out there because we're in a hurry. You're talking about cold emails and sending out like 10,000 emails. Where are you getting all those email addresses? Because I'm struggling to get 10.
Yeah. Okay, right on. So very, very quickly, in regards to a marketing audit video on the channel, I don't know if I do. I have it inside the private program. I might even have it in the free community. Like if you just join the free community at, I think we've got the link on the slides, growmyagencynow.com. If you go there, that'll get you in the free community. Then I've got the audit there. If not, I'll find it and I'll put it in there for you. That solves that one. In regards to where are we getting all these leads? Oh, my friend, they're everywhere. Leads are everywhere. They're literally everywhere. That's a terrible thing though. So it's like we can use software. So like D7 Lead Finder, basically type in Lead Finder and you'll find them. You can build them yourself using high-level prospecting. That's my preferred way because I prefer quality over quantity and I like to do my audits. You can use any list buying service, Zoom Info, US Info. You can buy lists from people. You can scrape them yourselves using any number of available softwares. You type in Lead Scraper. You can build them on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. If you go there, I can get you 300,000 contractors in 5 minutes, literally just by using that there. You can go to Upwork or Fiverr or whatever and say, I'm looking for a lead scraper in this industry with this thing. Yeah, leads are everywhere.
Yeah. And matter of fact, Carl, I have a master class on doing mass marketing and cold emailing that I think it's like a couple of years old, but it's still relevant in how you curate your lists and things like that. So look, YouTube, I mean, go to our YouTube high level channel and like search up Paulson's cold email masterclass, and I teach how to do like 1,500 to 2,000 emails a day. And that itself is its own skill set. Like it's a massive process. You got to buy a bunch of Gmail accounts and make sure you don't get blacklisted, and there's a lot to it. It's not a simple answer, but I would say take a look at that, Carl. So without any further ado, first of all, Adam, I just want to say a personal thank you to you for saying yes to this, and you built out a pretty cool snapshot for everybody as well. Thanks for being so flexible. I mean, you were one of the easiest people to work with, just getting this ramped up. And I think we spent about a month almost ramping all this up. And our team is also very grateful behind the scenes as well for you saying yes. Hopefully you stay part of our high level community in the future and, contribute in there as well.
Awesome. Well, Paulson, likewise, my friend, thanks for making this so easy and so good to chat with you as well, and to
Sure.
riff on these ideas and facilitate everything. So yeah, absolute blast.
Awesome, man. So let me just share my screen. So for everybody, you're about to miss out on this. If you don't have a high level account, forgive my lack of salesiness, because it doesn't really matter whether you sign up or not. Eventually, we really feel good about the product where you may come back anyway. But if you're a brand new customer and don't have an account, you can go to gohighlevel.com/Adam Workshop offer and sign up for a 30-day trial instead of our 14-day trial. And matter of fact, you get access to our $297 unlimited account. So it allows you to have as many accounts as you want, as many text messages and locations and all of that, unlimited funnels, unlimited websites, unlimited contacts, unlimited everything. And we're really proud of it. So you can take advantage of it. If you are already an existing customer on any plan, and if you upgrade to the next tier, so if you're on the 97, if you simply upgrade to 297, or if you're on the 297, you simply upgrade to the 497, you also can get all the collaterals. And if you have general questions, or if you're already on the 497 plan, you can go to speakwith.us/success and talk to a live agent and get the collaterals. If you want to just speak to someone specifically about the workshop offers or anything around high level that you're thinking about purchasing, but you're not really sure, you can go to speakwithus/consult. And here's what's included in the offer. You get the 5-day challenge course, you get the SaaSpreneur Local Hero course, you get Adam's snapshot, list of 7-figure niches, perfect cold script, as well as his podcast outreach email templates. It's all provided, and it's all at gohighlevel.com/Adam Workshop offer. Special bonus for everybody that stayed to the end. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? I'm going to make sure you all get the slides and the recordings and everything and the cold templates and all of that from this workshop. If you go to gohighlevel.com/GHL resources, this morning I had the team literally go through and build a public drive for all participants. I'm gonna go eat some food, so give me like 30-40 minutes, and I'll upload the slides and some of the bonuses in there. You're not gonna get all the bonuses like the snapshot, but we'll make sure I throw in the cold email stuff and also the prospecting podcast scripts in there, and we'll just throw that in there. But either way, this is a special bonus for all of you that stayed through. Adam, again, how can people find out more about you? I know you have like 300 subscribers in your YouTube channel. I know you're getting ready to roll out a bunch of stuff with high level in mind. How can people find out where you are? Maybe can you share a little bit about your programs? Like, I don't even know about your coaching programs or anything like that. Can you just give us an insight to that as well?
Yeah. Thanks, Paulson. Yeah, it's funny. We've been talking this whole time about agency stuff. Like, who's this guy and what's he even do? Yeah. So the best place to find me is probably the easiest place is certainly YouTube. So yeah, there's, I don't even know, 350,000, I think now, there, and we're growing at a decent pace, and it's all marketing. So there's been over the last lot of years, basically if you have a question about marketing, we can answer it there. Specifically, the main program is called the Agency Accelerator, and that's to help agency owners grow, scale, build profitable 6-7-figure agencies, essentially avoiding all of the mistakes that Paulson and I made in the early years, and helping you shortcut your keys to success. So, a couple ways to to go learn more about that one. The easiest way is to go to growmyagencynow.com. That'll take you to a group. But if you also, again, you'll find links on the YouTube channel. I'm a pretty easy guy to find. If you go to YouTube and you type in marketing, I should be number 1 or 2 there. So it should be pretty simple. But that's essentially it. That's my only pitch.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, thank you everybody for watching. We had 3 powerful days together. And if you're struggling in any way, remember, you can just jump on a call with anybody here at High Level and get your answers there. But again, give me a little bit of time. I'm going to go grab some lunch, and then I'm going to pack up our public Google Drive so you get the slides, the cold email scripts, as well as Adam's podcast scripts as well. And then if you upgraded to the trial or jumped into, if you signed up for a new trial or did an upgrade, I'll make sure you get the snapshots and all the bonuses from High Level as well. But either way, have a good rest of your day, evening, afternoon, early morning. Thank you for watching. We are in the process of ramping up our next workshop. Give me like 2-3 weeks. We have the great OG, Mr. Frank Kern, in the pipeline. We're working through him. And I think just the birdie here is we might do something around AI. So stay in touch. We'll be out there. And if you want to sign up for the 5-day challenge, you can do that anytime. It's free. If you want to have some help getting your first customer. Adam, thank you again, man.
Awesome.
I appreciate
Thank you, my friend.
Next time we do this, we're gonna have to turn on that guitar and the keyboard behind you and see some skills there. But
one day. Yeah.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.